Live right now, about in a few seconds. So I'm gonna also double check it if we are live on our channel. So just so we can get the questions if there is anybody. If not, we're just gonna start. Oh, I don't want to hit myself here. Yep, we are live. All right, so everybody who is going to be live on YouTube, you guys are watching us, and I'm gonna go ahead and also share my screen. So we're basically live on a Zoom right now with Kevtech and a lot of different people from our JSS community. So the first thing what I would like to do is that I'm going to go over one by one and let the members and the Kevtech has his own channel. He's kind of like a VIP guest over here, and we're going to do like a little introduction from everybody, like what kind of status they are, like why are they in these type of channels, and where they are, what kind of experience they have, and are they looking for a job. So let's start with Kevtech. Since he's a VIP, we're going to just start with him and just do a basic intro. And we are also watching YouTube, by the way. If there is anybody out there and have questions, they can ask us questions. If not, we're just going to go. This is an informal meeting, by the way. We're just chilling right now because we're all sitting home and, we're trying to gather what's happening right now. So let's talk about it. Kevtech, go ahead and take over.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kevtech here, and I do IT videos. And basically, I work in a hedge fund, and basically I do IT executive support for the CEO, the CFO, the CIO, all the executives basically. And I do like level 2 support. I do some sysadmin stuff, and I also work with the executives in the office, and I do like white glove support in New York. I'm based off of New York, and basically I handle day-to-day issues. Like, you can do like Active Directory, password resets. It could be dealing with vendors, a little different kinds of issues. And actually, I actually got promoted. Actually, I'm actually an IT lead now. So I'm not sure what my job duties are going to be. I have to do a review with my manager, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with me. But that's pretty much a little bit about me. And I have a YouTube channel as well where I make entry-level videos, how to get into IT, how to get into desktop support, a little bit of everything, little job interviews here and there. And obviously we're all here to help. So if you have any questions or concerns, or you need anything, feel free to reach out to anyone here in this video. We're here to help. Okay.
So Kevtech, how many total years you would say like you have IT experience, like technical experience, like how many years would that be?
I have like 5.5 years. I'm going into 6 years.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to come back again with more detailed, the life stories and everything in this, because this is going to go for a long time. So if you guys who are live right now in our Zoom meeting, if you guys have to go away or maybe even, shut down the meeting, that's fine, because this is, like I said, informal meeting. It's going to be recorded and it's going to be available to you guys. Okay. So I'm going to quickly start with other introductions. What kind of other members do we have, so then other people who are watching us can relate, because I know a lot of people look at experienced people, but then they want to know more about the people who are like, getting into IT or who have done a little bit of job out there. So let's start with Eddie first, and Eddie can do the introduction. I'll just name out, and then people can just start talking about themselves a little bit. Okay, so Eddie, go ahead.
Sure, I was texting a friend to join us. I'm a student of Danish. I'm currently a bartender in Los Angeles. I've been doing it for a long time, and I don't look it, but I'm 53.
I was gonna ask everybody. I was like, can you guys guess his age? He's 53. Guys, look at. I mean, he's probably more younger than you right now.
So I needed more money, and I'm the kind of guy, I need to do a job that I will enjoy more than I hate. I don't want to do a job that I don't like. And so I did bartending for many years because I enjoyed it for many years, over 20. But it's gotten to a point where the money's just not there with what I do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'm digressing, but I've always messed around with computers and, changed the RAM, put a new PSU, changed the motherboard, put the software in. And I've always had an interest in tech. I always read the tech news. And then I said, well, I was going to do IT many, many years ago. And then I ended up moving to California and bartending, and I got kind of sidetracked.
Mhm.
So anyway, so then I have the A+ certification. I have the Network Plus certification. I've been applying for jobs. I haven't gotten called in for one interview. And I was listening to Danish's channel, and then for a while, I've been a member for a couple of months now. And then recently, he mentioned Kevtech, and that's why I found you through Danish. And so I'm a student of his, and I basically like the message that he was saying. So I have A+, Network Plus, but I have no job skills. I heard of Active Directory. I didn't know what it did.
More
I
like
have no
had a
practical job
certification, but you
skills.
just didn't have the confidence to how to use these type of certification, right? Because that was the main thing for you when you came,
Yeah.
like, okay, I got these papers right there, but I just don't know what should I do with it, right?
Well,
It was kind of like where we kind of get into, okay, now you need this training, or now you need whatever. I mean, of course, this is more like we can go more into detail later on. But thank you, Eddie. I mean, we're going to come back to more detail, but we want to get into more what other people are joining in. Now, Eddie is a member, but I also invited people who are not members, because we don't want to sell things over here. We don't want to promote things over here. We want to be real over here. Kevtech, I did not pay him to come over here, by the way. It was just like Kevtech, I see him every time in the chat. I go there to his live sessions. I love the way he talks and he shares information, and he has so much energy. And so I love to just watch him and just like what he's saying and everything, because he has something very similar going on. So I like to do that, because then I also invited people who did not pay anything in our platform. So I want to make sure that it doesn't become more of like this session is about promoting something, right? We don't want to do that. We want to help people. So I want to ask Gulreen, because I know she's not my paid member. I know she did not take live training with me. I want to get her introduction. And why did she join us? Gulreen, go ahead, do your introduction.
Hi guys, I'm Gurleen, and so talking about me, I live in Canada, Toronto, and I completed my master's in computer networks from a university in Toronto. And after that, I felt like, you know, uh, it's not that easy to get a job. So I gave few certifications, and I have CCNA certification. And then what I felt is that it's not only important to have a certification, but it's also important how you justify it. Like, I thought, now I have certification, I should put a full stop, and I should not think that, okay, let's get me another certification like Microsoft, or let another, because I was flooded with so much information that finally I went to YouTube and I got to know about Danish. That's where I contacted him, and he guided me a lot. And I'm really grateful to him that he's so humble that he gave me so much information over phone, and he didn't even charge me. So I'm grateful to him. And because of that, because of my discussions, like I think I had around 2 to 3 hour discussions with him. Due to that, I got to know that marketing marketing, what is fine, but marketing, storytelling, and the training that he provides is very important to get a job. So that's where he gave me some training videos, and I went through them, and I was able to get 2 jobs over a span of 1 month.
So this is an important point,
yeah.
because she did got a job. Now let's go into this story, because we want to move on to this story is very important right here. And that's why I'm going to even start bringing more people, because everybody have a story right here. So Kev, listen to this. She has CCNA. She had CCNA. She talked to me. We went back and forth, and I'll kind of tell, Gureen that, hey, I'm gonna tell you everything, but still, there's something missing out there. So I didn't tell her like, oh, take my training, right, Gulreen? I never told you that. Come and take my training.
Correct.
Then you will get a job. I'm like, you can get a job. Yes, if you're so much into it, you're gonna get it. So let's go ahead and continue with this story. I want to go into the more depth into this one.
So that's where I talked with him, and I just mentioned it to him that I gave like 5 interviews, and why I'm not able to clear. What is the problem? Like, why I am like that? So what I feel is that the biggest the most important thing that I learned from Danish is that how to project your skills. It's very important to be very positive before the interview. On the day of interview, you need to be very positive about it. That's where your behavior, your the way you is it changes. So I learned that from him, and he gave me some job skills training, how to introduce yourself and how to talk about your skills. Because what we is that we have everything. We can be certified, we can have masters, it doesn't matter. The most is that how you educate your knowledge to the interviewer, right?
Hmm.
How you market your skills. So he told me about that, and then I got a job.
You got the job,
I
right?
got two
This
offers,
is very
and
important, guys.
I
Listen, she got the job. And
yes,
what was the
yes.
title of the job, by the
So
way?
I got two jobs, and the first job was operations analyst, and the next was infrastructure specialist. So
Oh,
I got these two jobs, and I think what I feel is that it's very important to have a mentor in your life, a mentor who continually guides you on how to become valuable to the market.
hmm.
It's not only your education and not only your certifications. It's very important to have someone who can guide you of your job interview, because you need to stay positive. You need to have that courage and will to apply, to go for the interview, to talk to them. So that was the thing with them. So with Danish, I gained a lot. And then also I used to send him WhatsApp message that today I have this interview and these were the questions. And then he would guide me how you can answer better for the next interview. So
Hmm.
that's what helped me to, um, what to say, to reanalyze
Hmm.
what I was doing wrong in my previous interviews.
Hmm.
And finally I got job, and
Now, what happened after
yeah,
that?
I'm happy about it.
Because that's kind
So
of
still
also
I'm
important.
so yes, so yeah, definitely. I would like to talk about it. It happened a week back.
Uh-huh.
So I got
Oh, here's listen.
what do you say, laid off,
Doreen,
right?
let's take a pause because we want to talk about positive things in the beginning, and we're gonna come up to a little negative stuff a little bit later on, so we can cover all these people right here, right? But keep
All
that
right.
with you because this is very important, and Kev will talk about it
Okay.
too, how we all experience this in our life, right? So let's go
Right,
to
right. No
uh,
problem.
let's
I'll
go
have
to
my tea.
Vilad. Let's go to Vilad and get his introduction. He's also not a paid member, by the way. He's not a live member. He also has some information with us to share, so I'm sure you guys are going to learn from it.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction, Danish. Really appreciate what you invite me. It's so nice of you.
No problem.
Can you hear me properly? Is
Yes, we can
everything
hear you.
okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Great, great. So I'm from Canada, and be specific, it's Vancouver area. So I actually arrived around like 5 years ago to Vancouver, and at that time I didn't have documents or anything like that. And I just started learning English because I barely know anything.
Mm.
So that's how I started here in Canada, and it was just English courses. And I thought, oh, maybe I will go to to Langara College. It's like local college here, and I thought, oh, maybe I just go for the computer science or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But well, it was just too expensive, right?
Yeah.
So and yeah, at the moment I was running out of the money, and thought, oh, how I could stay here? I left this country.
Mm.
So I decided just to find like I went from IT and find some handyman work. I was trying to trying to find other skills that I could use in this country to stay here.
Uh-huh.
So and later on, luckily for me, everything just become better and better, and yeah, I was kind of succeeding on with this handyman work, and yeah, I met my wife, and we prepared Canada, and I just went there for 1 year. It was a village actually, and I stayed there for 1 year. We growing plants, vegetables, and just discovering village life. And while you're like where and just starts thinking about what you actually want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, well, I was doing IT before, and I was studying this field in a college. in Russia, and I was just actually in Russia. I have like more than 5 years experience in IT, and I thought actually I want to come back because it's the only thing what I want to do in life, and it's where I succeeded really good. So I like, okay, and I create a plan what I need to do, what steps I would need to like to make. And I started researching. I found Danish in the internet, and he just describing everything like properly, you know, from the beginning. It's just not just separate things. It's whole thing. It's whole field of how you could start, how you could like enter to this. Yeah, and like later on, and even now, I still watching the courses, and I found out actually in Canada, you could go to library and have access to the lynda.com for free.
Yes, yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I didn't know, and
in the US
now,
too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that, so I know it's really helpful for me, especially now. So I watched Danish videos and I just went through his courses. It was really helpful, and I actually want to pay to this guy because he's just doing a really good job to creating all the platform.
But I didn't ask you for money, right?
No. But I want to, because you it's really worth it. So
yeah, well, there's certain things that I'm very, very open, and I'm not shy about telling. Like, I can ask Kevin's right here. He's the experienced person, right? You cannot give somebody resources for free. Like, you know, Kev, you know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Just give that kind of labs that we are putting out there. People are invest. I mean, this is something that this requires investment a little bit to make your life easy. Now, we're also promoting that you can do everything on your own, but that leads to more stress and everything. If you can take that, fine. But if not, then we are there as a solution, basically. That's what we're telling people. So
yeah,
that's
so yeah, now oh, that's amazing. I like these courses, and just telling me step by step how I could just enter that. And I just started searching my information. I put in my resume my previous experience in Russia, and I just basically kind of refreshing my knowledge, what I already know, and exploring more what is happened after 5 years of my doing something else in life, right? So just filling this gap what I have, and I have my resume prepared, and I start putting this in just sending people. I just use Indeed and Glassdoor, and I sending people my resume, and actually had a lot of calls. It was I think 2 weeks ago, and every day I have a 2 interview or 1 interview at least. So, and yeah, people were really interested, and I was interested. So, but I'm mostly going through the HR manager.
I see.
And yeah, and one time I actually go forward, but it wasn't that successful because you still need to find out what actually you need to say, what terms you need to use, and what for them to understand what you actually know that field good. So, and I found the guy who was really interested in me. He just called me right away, and it was a small business, and he didn't actually start out. He just wanted to expand the company, and thought, oh, he'll find more clients, and we'll start wiring.
That's before this whole craziness that's happening.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was
basically what you're saying. You got a job.
Yeah, I landed a job, and this guy was super nice, and the team was great too. But what happened?
Let's not go to what happened here, because I want to save this whole what happened to everybody, and because I want to finish up with other people too, and at the end I want to ask Kev to kind of do his kind of review on what's happening. So maybe he has a little bit something to share with you guys, and so this way he can talk about it. So we got Rajan online, and we got Jonathan also right here. How are you, Jonathan?
Happy COVID virus day. Doing well. quarantined.
How's everything?
Well, over here in Studio City, just trying to get out of the public, you know, a little crazy out there.
So while you're on the phone with camera, so go ahead and give us your introduction and tell us about yourself, and quickly we can move on to with other people. So.
Oh yeah, all right. So right now I currently work at Wolf Game Puck as a caterer. I've been with computers for a while. I had my own little shop as a kid. I'm 20 years old. And I just want to jump back into the computer industry just because I miss it. I love it. I hate the food industry. And yeah, I'm just ready to get back in. So I just got my A+ certification and working on my Network Plus certification as we speak. I'm like halfway through the book.
And how did you find us, or like this whole process?
Oh, my friend Eduardo Martinez, he let me know about it. He's my other computer buddy. He's actually been my guru for a little bit.
Awesome, man. We got a lot of gurus right here. Don't worry, man. We will make sure if you are interested in IT, there's no way after finding this many people. It's like I just feel like there's no way for people to be misguided, right?
Yeah.
So now let's go back to our VIP guest. I don't want to get him bored, and then we can go to other people. So Kev, how do you feel so far? Like, you know, like these are the people like catering, bartending, people coming from different country, 5 years of gaps in there. How are you like thinking about this whole stuff? I'm sure you've been used to this stuff, right?
Yeah, I am used to that stuff. I come from a restaurant background, so people don't know I have a restaurant background. I've been in IT for over 5 years, but as far as experience is concerned, I am all over the place, just like everyone else here, I guess. So I've been in restaurant for over 6 years. I did 4 years in the NYPD, in case anyone don't know that. And I did retail as well, and I've been working since I was 10 years old. So I totally get it. I totally get it. And now I'm in IT now, but I totally get it. Yeah, there are going to be gaps. There are going to be people that are coming from restaurant. And I feel like if you do work in restaurant, that's like a plus for you, because then you know how to handle stress and you know how to handle customer service. So if you do come from a restaurant background, that is really, really good, because you're going to handle a lot of tickets. You're going to handle a lot of people. You're going to handle a stressful environment, and you're going to have a bunch of issues that basically are going to be like face to face with a client, or basically on the phone as well. So you're going to have a bunch of issues that are they're very involved when it comes to dealing with just people in general. You have to know how to talk to people. So having that,
or you can be like me. I started as a busboy and I got fired. So So the thing about me is that when I started, my problem was that, and Gulreen can probably relate to me more because I'm from Pakistan, she's from India, so we have a little bit similarities. Because when I came over here, I had nobody to talk to. My confidence level was this much, and I even looking at people was something so different, that these are different people. They're black, they're white, they're different type of people. Trust me, in Pakistan you have one color, like I live with like one type of culture over there, right? So even my communication with people was extremely poor. Like I could not talk to these people, trust me. And yet alone, then going out there and doing a job that is very much like people are always looking at you. Did you put the water correctly? Did you clean the table? After 5 minutes, my manager would come to me, hey, you're not cleaning anything. So even though I'm like working like crazy, and so of course I was in a high school at that time, I was like in 12th grade, right? So I didn't care that much, right? After 3 months of working, I just kind of got into a fight and I cussed the hell out of the manager and just left. Basically, that was my thing. And I'm like, okay, I can take it. So, but the thing is that I'm not promoting that. That was actually a bad thing from my side because I was so young, I didn't know. And I learned it the hard way, because then the next job was a receptionist job. So I still remember, and I pick up the phone, and that's where Kevin is telling you the great thing is, when you are in the customer service job, you are already ahead. So don't feel like if you're working somewhere else, that's not going to count it. That counts a lot, because I was in a car dealership and I was a receptionist. So I even remember the lines today. Thank you for calling Saturn of Silver Spring. How can I direct your call? That's the line that I could not say in my first few days. It was the hardest thing in my life, right? But how did I actually manage to say it, and how did I get that confidence? When the other receptionist left me, she was like, as long as I'm here, you're going to be always dropping a call. But when I leave and I'll put and I basically let you go on your own, trust me, you're going to do well. And the first time when she left, I pick up the call and it was a smooth, thank you for calling Saturn of Silver Spring. How may I direct your call? It was so smooth that I was like, man, is this my job? This is so easy. Why was I getting so scared of people? I mean, to be honest, sometimes you just got to hit with it. Like people are a little bit, scared of going to these IT jobs because they think it's going to be too much stress. It's going to be too much to learn. Trust me, that is the part of this whole game. You got to go there. You got to take on that stress. Of course, you got to do it smartly as well, because IT is not something like you can pick up a call and just thank you for calling. It's not like that, right? It's thank you for calling, and then you become reactive, and then you have to do that process. That's a little difference right there, right? So if you were in some kind of customer service space, it's easy to transfer the call, but here you got to actually solve the call. So that is what we are helping people to actually learn. And Kevtech videos are full. His channel is full of that. We have a whole full training based on that, right? This whole idea, we have a training on it to help you out with this specific area. So, Kev, you can always jump in. Anybody can jump in, guys. There's no like, you stop or I stop. You just jump in and somebody can take over. So this is, like I said, an informal meeting. We're gonna try to get to know more about you and everything. And this is where we can build more confidence. So at the end, you can have any questions you can ask us. We can stop everything, and if you have a question, we can answer that, okay? So I also wanna jump into other people like Rajan. Rajan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So I want to also bring Rajan because he has been through all of the training, but there, of course, we're telling people that it's not going to be such an easy way, right? It's not like you do a training and then you're going to get lucky. There are people that are still have done training and still looking for a job. So I feel like Rajan is still doing it, right? Rajan, how many interviews you've been through so far?
I didn't apply too much, but okay. Whenever I applied, I got actually face-to-face interview. I got 2 face-to-face interview, and phone interview. I think 3. Yeah, because I didn't apply too much because due to some personal reasons, I wasn't able to apply.
And that's totally understandable. Even though in those few interviews you did pretty well, but that's like I said. I mean, it's some people land a job in the first interview. Like for example, the person who did a training with you, Shakir, right? He got a job in the first interview. But there are people that are still struggling. So we also want to tell people that it's a part of the reality is that you got to keep applying, right? You cannot just give up. And even though you're saying it yourself that you did not apply to a lot of places, and I understand you had some physical, situation going on. So I hope you're feeling better and everything. And after this, the suggestion from my side is going to be, as a trainer, that you still got to go crazy on these jobs. Like you have to,
I'm getting ready to go.
you got to apply to these jobs, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about Kev by applying? How's that formula in your mind? Does it work?
Me, yeah, definitely works. You gotta apply for as many jobs as you possibly can. But like I tell people, it has a lot to do with you. It has a lot to do with your resume. It has a lot to do with your personality. It has a lot to do with getting feedback. You gotta keep practicing interviews. So like by that I mean, like if you don't succeed in your first interview, you want to get feedback from that interview and figure out what you did wrong. So then when you take that knowledge with you, you could take it to the next interview. So then you're prepared for the next interview. So that's basically what I recommend doing. So no matter how many times you apply for a job, even if you fail that job interview per se, it's good to get positive feedback from it. And basically you could utilize that in your next job, if that makes sense. So.
Yeah, and that's I totally agree with you. And if you guys remember in my training, most of you who have done my training, what did I tell you? That I'm expecting a rejection in the beginning. I want you to get rejected. I want you to feel that rejection. So then once you get rejected, you feel like, okay, this person rejected me. I'm better than that. I learned from it. And you're not like going mad about it. You're saying that what was missing? Let me go back, let me fix it, then go back on attack on it again. And you keep doing that, keep doing it till it becomes so smooth for you that even these answers become like a real game for you. Like you go to these jobs and you're like saying everything. So I tell Kev what I do in my training, when I ask people that tell me about Active Directory, and when they stutter, I'm like, nah, you got rejected. Don't stutter, right? I want you to be very smooth. I have to make sure that they are smooth in this. Like if I'm training you about Active Directory, I'm telling you that you're telling a person that I'm unique. Why? Because I have Active Directory skills with me right now. I know that I don't have experience, but I can counter that with my training that I did it so uniquely. I'm not like a normal A+ certified college graduate that came and you asked me a question and I say, no, I don't know about it, but I'll learn it on the job. That's still an okay answer. But they'll still hire you. But there's a better answer for a lot of people, like I said, that everybody's becoming towards IT, right? So we also have to accept this reality that if so many people are coming to the job, and even if you have some great customer service skills, at the end, I'm still going to have to look for my own time too. Like if I'm a sysadmin or I'm an IT manager and I have 2 people working with me, I still have to think about those 2 people. They have to train everything from scratch. So I might just pick a person who has some knowledge, some technical knowledge. So you see, it's becoming to that point right now. It wasn't like that before, by the way. It was like, you got the certification, so I like it. You did some great work on certification. That's the hard stuff. But now everybody's passing certifications left and right in 2 days of, I don't know what you call that term. Like you just kind of like memorize it and you get the check marks. So I'm dealing with that these days, like with a lot of people. And you can see, Gureen said she had CCNA. Eduardo says he had a CompTIA A+ Network Plus. So why is when so many people have these certification, why do they need us, right? Why do they need to be in these channels or these sites or invest even energy? Now, let's not talk about even money, about energy. I feel like I value energy more than money, right? So what do you think about that? I mean, do you think the certifications are like, they're good? I would say they're definitely good, but they got to be used, in my sense, I think they got to be used smartly.
No, I totally agree with you. Like I tell people, because I did martial arts for about 2-3 years, and I have a yellow belt. And then people ask me, "What about your black belt?" And I'm like, "A black belt? That's like that's just to hold the waist in your pants. That's basically what a black belt is. It doesn't mean anything. So you can have all these certifications, but it means absolutely nothing if you're not putting them into practice and you know what you're talking about. Obviously, if you go and take an exam and you get all these certifications and then you memorize all the answers, and then basically you're not learning anything. That's basically what it is. You're not learning anything. You're just learning how to memorize the answers. So then when you go to a job interview and someone asks you how to explain to me how to do DNS, DHCP, how to, what releases, what release time is, what scopes are, and you start giving them a definition, you give them something that doesn't make any sense, they're not gonna hire you. They're gonna be like, this guy just memorized a bunch of answers. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, what she's talking about, whatever, So it's also not about memorizing answers. It's about actually putting it into practice and knowing how to do it. It's not about memorizing anything. That's not gonna help you. Even in the long run, that is not gonna help you. If you memorize the answers to a question, that definitely will not help you.
And I tell people that, Kev, that it's not just landing a job, and that's why I say they hold on the negative stuff, because there are 2 people that are going to share their stories. Well, that's like a hold on, because you landing a job doesn't mean you can retain that job if you don't have the skills, right? If you don't know how to use your skills, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to. And even if that's not about retaining a job, what about our stress life? Like, what about our quality of life? Because I am also very much worried about these people. They're going to go through some very stressful time because they didn't do something smartly, I would say, right? We can always say that this person can learn on their own and they will learn it the hard way. But why are we here, right? Why are you on the YouTube channel? Because you want to help these people, right? You want to minimize their stress. You want to make sure that you tell them a lot of information that you've been through. And that's what I'm doing. But I'm doing more probably in a more learning management system way, and you're doing it in a proper YouTube way. So that's the probably 2 differences that we have here. And I'm also kind of like a YouTuber, but I don't consider myself a YouTuber, by the way. But I'm there, I'm going to these, I'm kind of like inside, like mid area, So Kev, we got a question right here, and I think you can give it a try first, and I'll in the YouTube community, and then I'll try my answer to that too. It says that I'm in a help desk position, and what's the best way to move up in the job? I have a BS degrees, and did a 9-month course on cybersecurity and ethical hacking. What would you say to that?
What are you trying to move to? Another IT job? What do you want? So if you want to be a sysadmin, then I recommend doing the MCSA or Microsoft Azure. If you want to be a network admin, I recommend doing CCNA. So it depends what kind of job you want to do. So I'm not sure what kind of job you want to do. It could be anything from networking, if you want to do CCNA, or if you want to do Microsoft, obviously get into the sysadmin role, because you're in help desk right now. So basically, in my opinion, you could go either way. You could go into the network admin field, or you could go to the sysadmin field. If you want to go into cybersecurity, obviously, you know, some people get the ethical hacking certification, or some people get the CISSP, and then some other people, they go and get Security Plus. But it also depends, I don't know what position you want to apply for. So that's my opinion on that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. And to that one, like I said, everybody who asks a question about career, the best thing you can do to help a mentor out is try to tell them a title. Go and say, this is what I look for. This is what I want to be. So it really, really helps a mentor that, oh, you're talking about sysadmin area, you're talking about security area, you're talking about networking area. So then it becomes very easy for people. Or if you don't know the titles, by the way, you can always say that I love networking. I like to do a lot of command line stuff. I like to connect routers, switches. You see, a lot of people have different type of likes in their IT area. So it makes it super easy for a mentor to guide you. They can straight up tell you a course. They can give you a lab access. They can tell you that, hey, go to that channel, Network Chuck, IT career questions, or something like that, or Kubuman. For whatever these reasons, I mean, these are the channels that are available out there. And then you will find your mentor out of these questions. And if you're more, do your research, what I'm saying. Just do a little bit of research to at least give a little bit more information to a mentor so then they can help you. Because IT is so broad, to be honest, we can sit here and we probably would spend another 5 months and we still won't finish anything. Right? We'll still be like starting right now. So you got to be more specific in your questions and research. Let's move on to, yeah, let's go ahead. Gulreen.
Yeah, I think along with the job title, it's also very important that whatever you want to do, for example, if somebody wants to be a system admin, he or she can go to, I don't know what works in US, Dice or Indeed or Glassdoor. He or she can just put the title and then you'll get the jobs. And from the jobs, you can see the job responsibilities. Yeah. And those job responsibilities will definitely give you an idea, like you want to be a system admin, what would be your responsibilities and what would be your preparations for that. Bachelor's fine, certificate, even if they're asking 3 to 5 years of experience, I think that doesn't matter. Experience, yes, definitely some say it matters, but definitely I think it's overall aspect of the job responsibilities that would help you out. So certifications can just help you to, somebody would approach you for a job, but after that it's all your skills, how you represent yourself. Even if you have no experience, the way you represent yourself can definitely help you find out a job. So I think that would help somebody to get a job.
Gureen, while you're on the camera, let me see if you can. Yes. While you're on the camera, I think she has a little delay in our voice. So.
Yes, I'm listening.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm looking at the delay camera over there. That was my mistake. Sorry. Technical issues. All right. that YouTube can trick you, You're like looking at that camera. I'm like, oh no, she's right here. So, Gureen, so let's talk about what happened to you. Let's talk about that. I wanna know now a little bit more of what happened in your job.
Yeah. So I was
more detail, right? You want to help us. Give us all the details.
Yeah, definitely.
Kevin, listen to this one. Okay, this is a good story.
So initially, I got a job, and the first job as an infrastructure specialist, and it was a good position. The compensation was good, and I was happy. So the company, I would not take the name, but company was established. It was good company. It had its centers all over the US, Canada, India. I was good. So then comes, after a week, I had already interview with another company. So I got selected for that also as an IT operations specialist. So considering the other job, I preferred to not join to join the second job because of few things. First was that obviously the compensation. They were giving me better compensation. They were giving me above 55K. As a fresher in Canada, being an international student and struggling from last 4 months to find a job and applying to over so many, I would not say thousands of positions, just applying to about 4 positions each day, but properly. Applying to 4 positions each day, but in that way, that changing my resume, changing, okay, I'll come to that, how I did that. So when I got this job, it was a startup company, it was paying me good, and I had just one concern in my mind, and I talked to Danish also. I talked to a few other network engineers. I have a few other mentors as well. So they were like, it's good, they are paying you good, your starting salary is good, and the company is startup, so it has a good revenue growth past few years, and it's not that new, it's 7 years old startup. So I joined this company, and within 2 days of joining this company, I was so stressed out. It was a new position. This position was never there before, and it was a new position, and they were, all eyes were on me, from that aspect, first of all. And I was so stressed out in this job, and I was never happy. But then I eventually thought that definitely these are first few days, and it was after so many years, I have experience back in 2012, and now as a fresher, maybe it would take some time for me to settle in this job, and that's fine. So I gave myself some time, and as you all might agree with me, that 4 weeks is a very short time to judge anybody. And within 4 weeks of doing my job, and I was making sure that I do everything, or perform all my job responsibilities, and give IT support, no issue IT. So in this startup company, basically there was no IT support process. I defined an IT support process for everybody, and I was involved in other projects as well, because this was a new position. So all the responsibilities that was over everybody, they got onto me, and along with that I performed IT support process, which is a part of this job. So due to this coronavirus thing, and due to the startup company and mismanagement, I would say, I would not say bad about the company, but I learned a lot in this 1 month. And then suddenly I was very happy. And even, I had a presentation this 2 days before I got laid off. I had a presentation with all the company. It was like a family. They all were very happy, and they all were very collaborative and coordinating, and everybody was asking me, is it fine? And they all were good. But I think from business aspect, maybe they did not need this position anymore, and maybe due to this, I don't know, coronavirus or what. Suddenly I go to, on Monday, I'm on my job, and I'm saying my manager hi, and I'm very happy. And suddenly he says that he wants to talk to me, and he says that, sorry for that, sorry, we are, we don't have any reasons, but that's what he said indirectly. But we have to lay you off.
Yeah.
So
You see, the thing is
definitely
this.
they have to get,
The thing is this:
yeah,
if it was a
because we don't
corona,
need this position anymore.
if it was a coronavirus thing,
Yeah.
they would tell you that. I mean, you cannot just. I mean, a layoff is a different than just, oh, we have an issue, and I'll give you an example today, that how that kind of played around. So, but one thing we learned from you is this, and I already told you that, not to promote anything. I told you that there's a requirement for training, right? Because there are certain things that's
Correct.
missing with you, even though you have CCNA certification. There's certain things that are missing that's too core for you to understand, like inventory systems, right? Which we talked about, right? You say like, hey, what are the inventory systems? And we go over this stuff in our trainings, and we tell people that you need to know these things. I know there's a lot of people that don't talk about some products that we use in IT, and Kev will verify that for me.
Right.
That we don't just do this laptop. So what's in this laptop operating system? Microsoft is this much in the company. I know we're working a lot on operating systems, but there are products that we use, PDQ, SpiceWorks, different type of products that we use all over to make our job easy, and which I feel like you got stuck somewhere. You got a job where you were kind of like the IT support, you are the sysadmin, and you were almost a network engineer at the same time, which leads us to this another
So
problem.
what is, so basically, correct. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Which lead us to this different
So
problem
basically,
of
what
companies not kind of like, we have to then give you this information too in our training that, hey, you're going for MSP, so expect this. If you're going for a startup, so expect maybe a really great startup or maybe a very crappy startup that they don't even have a whole setup there. And they're making you one-man IT show to do everything, and they're paying you even less for that. To be honest, people at our stage, when we start working on these companies, we get to decide how much money I want for this job. And Kev can tell you, can basically verify that. You don't give me 3 titles right there, and I'll tell you 3 titles mean 150K, 50, 50, 50. If you want to make me do 3 jobs, right? And if people who are at that level can do these kind of things. So you at certain point, I told you that when you got into this job, it's a startup. Nobody can say that it's going to be a good job or it's going to be a bad area. But I told you that at least go in there, find out. If you get fired or get rejected, whatever it is, you'll learn. At the end, you'll learn. Be positive, right? That was my main thing to you, right? Just be positive, right?
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah, I want to bring in Kevin onto this because he listened to your story, and I want to hear from somebody who's in 5 years in IT. Kev, what do you think about this whole? My idea is that it's going to be always a game, right? You're just going to get in, you're going to find out it's a good company or bad company. But at the same time, we can sense the issue with Gulreen right now. I feel like she was lacking some of the basic core skills. That's why she got stressed out a lot with many of the things. And I'm not shy to basically talk to my members because I like to talk to people straight up that this is what was missing, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have issues where basically, for me, like being honest with you, I'm just gonna be honest with you. There are different companies. Every company is different. So like there are companies that they have their own specific products that you have to know how to use, and they're very like company specific. And then that goes like when you work in an you go in an MSP. Every MSP that like you work in an MSP, like I worked in an MSP. So you guys don't know my background. I worked in an MSP. So when you work in an MSP, I worked for multiple hedge funds. Each hedge fund had their own technology that they use. So you have to get training for that. You're not going to know it. You have to be trained in that. So every company is different. Wherever company you're working at, basically their technology is not the same. You might be an MSP, but each company has their own unique application or technology that they use specific to that vendor or specific to that company. The problem is that the job that you applied for, that you're working for, like Donnie said, there is no proper training. So when you have no proper training, and also there's no proper infrastructure in place, there's no infrastructure in place where basically what that means is there are no different departments. Like if you have a company that's a startup, basically you're not going to have anything at all. There's nothing to start up if you don't have anything to start up. You have to start it up on your own, actually. Basically, that's what that means.
Correct.
So going back into this, so when you work in a company, there's specific departments. Like there's an AD department, depending what company you're working for, obviously. There's an AD department, there's a cybersecurity department, there's a network admin department, there's IT support, a help desk department. So if you're starting up a company and this is why you got stressed out, is because you're doing everything. So you have to do everything. And basically, in reality, you're taking a lot of responsibility. You're taking a lot of responsibility for a high paid job, basically. Like they're supposed to give you more money, basically. And they didn't do that. They're supposed to give you more money for that position because you have a lot of responsibility. You have like 6, 7, 8 different hats that you're wearing. And in my job, when I worked as a junior sysadmin for a hedge fund, that's what happened to me. I was titled IT support. And that was not my job title. When I signed up for it, I thought it was just regular IT support. And then I did it, and it wasn't. I had to do putty. I had to do firewall changes. I had to touch the physical server. I had to touch the Meraki servers. I had to touch a bunch of different things. And I thought it was just password resets, doing hardware break and fix, and all these little miscellaneous things. And it wasn't that. I had to do a bunch of different things. And they titled it IT support. And right. I thought that was what was being given, basically. And that's not what happened. So sometimes when you go to a job, you have to figure out whether or not you fit with the culture. You have to do some research, figure out the company, see if you like it, you don't like it. Obviously, you have to see if you fit well with the company. And obviously, they have to see if you fit well with the company as well. So basically, you want to do your research first before you go into a job. And some jobs, they might look pretty and beautiful on the outside, but in the inside, it's probably a disaster. You don't know. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't know if the person that got laid off was because they did a bad job, or you don't know a person got laid off because they just didn't like the job they were in. They just left. So you don't know what you're walking into when you're going into a new job, or a job that's starting up, or a job that is basically been in the market for a while. So you want to do as much research as you possibly can, and you want to get as much training as you possibly can, because you don't know what you're going to walk into when you're doing any type of job in IT. That's why I recommend people to, try to get as much training as they possibly can. Look at the job description. Make sure they read the fine line of the print before they sign a piece of paper that is a contract or whatever. Just make sure what you're signing is what you're able to do, and you're able to handle that responsibility, if that makes sense. And that's pretty much what I want to say about that.
Makes sense. And I think I think what you discussed with me happened with me the same. What was given in the job description was totally different than what I did there. It might be a subset of what was given in the job description. And in my job contract, in my full-time job contract, it was written that my responsibilities would change over time. So that is where I got fishy, that what my responsibilities would change. But then I was happy to join a startup and and eventually I found out it's also very important to do your research on the company, as well as who's your manager, and everything. It matters a lot to do a research over the company, to know more about the IT department. Right.
Thanks so much. So I'm gonna also bring in another guest who has a lot of experience in IT. He's actually my friend, and he's in IT security. So Hadi, if you can do a little bit of your introduction. This is overall, a lot of members are here, a lot of people from that we know. Kevtech is a VIP over here. He has his own YouTube channel. So Hadi, go ahead and do your introduction and give us a little introduction so people know about you, your job title, and everything.
Okay. I would turn on my camera, but I'm doing the home renovation, so it's very dirty. So
that's fine, man. We're doing informal stuff. Turn it on, bro.
No, just leave it off. Leave it off for now.
We like your beard anyway.
Huh?
We like your beard.
That was just for Eddie. Anyway, so hey guys, my name is Hadi Wali. Known Danish for quite some time. I would say for 12 years now. We met in college. I was doing electrical engineering, and Danish was doing his IT stuff, and that's when he introduced me to IT stuff. And my first internship was actually with him. He hired me as a lab technician. He was showing me all the basic stuff, how to do certain things, in what way, how to set up wiring, all the cabling stuff. So it was pretty interesting. And then I went to University of Maryland. When I got there, I changed my major to economics and cybersecurity. So while I was there, I got a full-time job with the federal government, IT specialist. And as a federal employee, to me, it was like a very secure job. But the problem with the federal job is that once you get in the position, you get stuck on it for a really long time. And for me, it was pretty boring. And being young and having college tuition and all that, I felt like I could do better. So I ended up moving to DOD, did it for 2 years. And I think that was my first job where I got laid off too. And I wanted to talk about that. And then afterwards, I became a system engineer at one of the Department of Energy. Stayed there for 6 years. In the middle, I switched my career, went to Deloitte. Biggest mistake, because
yeah.
I'm not talking bad about the company. It was just not for me. Being a technical person, and then you go to something as business analyst, things like that. It just was really difficult. So I went back to Department of Energy. Now I work for a company called Coal Fire Systems. I'm a threat hunter. Basically, it's a new field. Look out for hackers and anything that's suspicious, malicious, and it's basically all focused on the cloud. We use AWS. I recently got certified in security, AWS security specialist. I'm also certified in architecture as well. This year I actually have to renew it. But other than that, do you have any questions?
What would you recommend people who are say, okay, I just got out of college and say, I want to become an AWS engineer? Like, can I land a job like that? Like, you know, how would you tackle that kind of question if somebody asked you?
You obviously can, honestly. One thing I tell my everybody, especially my nephew when he was in college, and every younger person, that the best thing you can do is internship. Let's say if you're in college and you do internship, we can land an internship literally anywhere. Like, you just have to go and look for it. Especially in this country, US, like, there's no shortage of internship. You go do an internship and see if you can land an internship where you're going to be doing cloud stuff. Because when you intern, obviously there's nobody's watching you in a way that, you know, nobody's going to fire you, say, oh, you're not doing your job, we're paying you, get out. They hired you because they want to teach you, they want to mentor you. So I guess that would be the best way to start your thing, is do internship. Now, if it's too late for you to internship, I would say the best thing for you to do is, as long as you know the basics of the IT foundation, you can get a training on the side and then see if you can land an entry-level job. Obviously, you're not going to make that much, but once you put your foot in the door, you can easily move up.
Yeah, I also agree with that, kind of like the flow, because a lot of people have specific area of career they want to get in. So a lot of time we tell people that, you know, if you're coming in, the easy way to get in is the help desk, right? Most of us will agree with this, that help desk jobs are kind of like, people know already that there's no hard requirements, but they do expect you to know a little bit here and there. So that's what you're doing. And actually, you're trying to getting in. So once you get in, you can decide to see, okay, I assign this ticket to a security guys. What is this ticket about? Oh, that's such a cool ticket. I love that. How did they solve it, right? You can then later on, when you get a little bit more comfortable with this department, you can start talking to them and see if that's really what you want to do. The same thing you can do with networking, the same thing you can sysadmin. So the help desk area, if you have that in your mind that you need to move up, is a great place to start. But like I said, I also agree with this, that some people may land a job as an intern in a very specific area. Like, for example, I'll give you a lot of time when people are in security, right? They will hire interns directly from colleges because they have had such certain degrees that that kind of like, you know, basically validate that, okay, you can become a security person. But they will teach you in the beginning. They're going to guide you how to do PCI scanning, how to use Nessus, how to do all that kind of stuff. They're going to teach you all that stuff, right? So then, of course, you are already into some kind of more specific area. And of course, what happens, you know, is like this. Even people who get into security then start learning about networking and stuff like that. That is more important, because if you have to scan a network, you got to know some networking behind it. You can't just start scanning a network, right, without knowing networks. So even if you get into that specific area, at some point you're going to come back to foundations again. Why? Because this is also a feeling that's always with us. When we were in there, we were always feeling like, okay, you know what, I really need to do networking, because if I don't do networking, I can't become a proper IT person, right?
Another thing I want to add is, like I was saying, if you don't land an internship, and let's say you're already at the age where you don't have time for internship and you just want to go for a job, one thing I've been really lucky, the job I had the longest for 6 years that I was at Department of Energy, I had a really, really good mentor. This old guy, super, super smart. Like, there was not one field that he didn't know anything about. Even if it was completely brand new, he would know at least basics of it. Such a nice guy, amazing, taught me A to Z. Like, literally, all my career achievements, I would say, whatever I know, it goes to him, because he taught me everything. Even though it was my professional job, he took me under his wing and he taught me so much. And I applied those techniques and his teachings in my current job. And so I would tell everybody as well that if you're at a job at professional level, if you can find somebody who's smarter than you, just ask them questions. Say, hey, can you mentor me? Like, I would love to learn from you. Just hype them up a little bit, because there's nothing wrong in admitting that you don't know everything. You know, sometimes egos come in the way, and you know, like, no, you know what, I can do it. I can Google it. I can do this. Yeah, of course you can, but when you read something,
yeah, a lot of time people assume things, right? They don't approach. So
right. So
even if they reject you or they give you a little bit like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this. Fine, no problem. They're humans, right? They may have family, they may be going through a stressful time. We gotta also respect that, right? So if that's happened to you, fine, no problem, right? You can always learn from other people.
Yeah, and then best thing happened to me was when he left the agency, he got promoted and he moved to a different project. Everybody in the government came after me. They were like, "Yo, you were his, you were like, you're second. You were like his clone. Can you do this? Can you do that?" And they kept giving me big projects. If you go to the agency I used to work at, everything that's been there, that's been in use right now, some way or another, you'll see my credentials in there, like documentation, or how he works on it, this and that, and I'm proud of it. And when they gave me this task, I'm like, holy crap, this is above my level. But I never complain. I'm like, you know what, I can do it, because he's even told me that if you get stuck, just give me a call, I'll help you. But I did my best. If I got stuck, I would reach out to him. He would help me. Even like, you guys don't know, like sometimes my old job, when I would get stuck, I would ask Danish for help. I'm like, hey, do you know how to do this? And he would be at his job and he would text me like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. Like, even like, we have another friend, Hamza, he would say that, ask Danish the same thing, like, hey, how do I do that? And Danish would troubleshoot it for us. So nothing wrong with having friends and network and asking for help.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move on to Eddie's asking for some kind of Eddie, what's up? Go ahead.
I'm torn between asking Kevin
go
or
ahead.
Hadi a question.
That's fine. Go throw it out.
Maybe I'll ask Kev. I'll ask Kev first, and then.
Okay.
I know that you said that you do white glove support. Now, it's not that I'm lazy, but I haven't Googled it. So does that mean you're like you're like VIP? You're like their personal help desk for the execs, not the whole company?
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. So my background, for the most part, I worked a lot of different jobs, by the way. So my background is I work in a hedge fund. So basically in the hedge fund that I work in, not to go in depth, or basically I do white glove support. So basically what that means is that I do IT support specifically only for the CEO, the CFO, and the CIO. And that I got hired for that position. They never had this position before. I got hired for that position because in my last job, I did that. In my last job, I was the personal IT guy of the CEO. And then in this job that I am in right now, I do the same thing. So if they have issues with their laptops, they have issues with their computer, they have issues with their iPhone, they need access to a certain share drive, they need access to certain things on the system, they would just immediately contact me. We have our own IT support team. Basically, we have our own IT support team, but they never talk to them or call them. They just come to me, directly to me. I have access to do everything, by the way. My position is a little different from everyone else's position. Like in my job, like people have two accounts. You know how you have an admin account and you have a regular account? I don't have two accounts. I only have one account, and I have access to do everything. So if someone wants me to give them access to something, I give them access to it. Somebody wants me to allow a firewall change or something, I do all that as well. So my position is a little different. It's like a mix between IT support and it's a mix between sysadmin role as well. And also I handle, because they know I have a YouTube channel, I handle documentation for the company as a whole, for the whole company. I handle all the documentation for the company. And that's it. That's a little bit about me. But that's white glove support in general. It's basically I handle all the IT issues that they have. So I'm their IT guy, and I'm their Dr. Phil as well. It's like sometimes they have personal issues, and like I need to, like say somebody's birthday or something. I know when it's their birthday. I have conversations with them. I see how they're doing. Sometimes, when you're dealing with people that are really important, they get very stressed out. They get really frustrated. They get super annoyed. They expect it to work really, like they expect it to work immediately. So like right now, for an executive person, like they're super nice to you, and then 5 seconds later they want to scream and yell at you. So you have to know how to talk to those people. They snap very, very fast because they're
So you
CEO.
also know when the stock goes down and up, right?
Yeah. So they get crazy. So they get very crazy. So you have to know how to talk to those people. And the reason why they talk to me is because I'm super approachable. I've been in restaurant for a really long time, so I know how to talk to people. I know how to calm anyone down because I work for the NYPD as well. So I deal with them all the time, and I memorize like little silly things, like when is their son's birthday, when's their daughter's birthday, how's their day, how's their weekend, little things like that. And for the most part, they like me, and I deal with the CEO all the time. He literally emailed me today because he couldn't connect to his computer in the office, and then I fixed it. So it was just That's basically what I do. That's I deal with all the important people. Everyone else does IT support. There's another department for network admin. There's another department for server admin. But my specific job is to make sure that everyone is happy. All the important people are happy. That's basically what my job is.
By the way, guys, we're gonna get into more a little bit of technical stuff a little later on in a way of what we do and what's going on now. Let's go ahead and finish a few more people, so then we also get to learn more from other side. Gigi, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, how are you? Sorry, yeah, there's a lot of people, so we gotta go through a little bit. So there's a little delay in this. So Gigi, go ahead and do your introduction. You have done your training and background. Just give us a little bit. You know, where's your confidence level right now, and you know, where are you? Basically, what's happening with you?
Well, right now I'm still well, I can start with my background. So now I do have a little experience and skills that I learned from the training, but my background is in property management. So it has nothing related with IT. So I already have customer service, which is part of the job that I do. So I wanted to start, like, you know, join the IT career because it's like a second passion for me, even though I never had the ability to exercise or practices. But I think now is a great time to do it for two reasons. First is money. Second is just the mentality of the field that I'm in. And I don't think I can do it any longer. Right now, I'm still learning with the test out. You know, Danish, I'm not done yet, but I still, and I'm also applying for jobs. So today I got one, you know, I sent you that one thing that I had. I kind of shook because I was like, okay, I'm not going to be, you know, afraid of anything. But when I got that thing, I was like, oh gosh, I sent you the screenshot right away. I was like, no, I have to prepare and, you know.
So what did I tell you, that you're gonna be scared a little bit? It's okay, but that's why I tell people that the first time you go in there, you either get lucky or get rejected. Rejecting is also a positive thing in our platform, right?
Right.
And we're telling people that you're gonna go for this interview. It's fine. You're gonna get rejected. You're gonna learn, but that's fear that you have right now. It's gonna go away, because I'm gonna also ask Stan after this, because he did a call with somebody today, and he's very positive today. So we're gonna. So there's a lot that you see. So many people are giving you different information right here. Why? Because some people have been through it. Some people are doing it for the first time. Some people are has their call came like after the first interview. So I feel like you're there. You know, like I said, you did. Look, we tell people that don't try to master anything, right? Even if you've done our training, even if you finished our labs, you cannot master this stuff even in 6 months of rigorous training. You can't master it. None of us are masters right here. All of us struggle somewhere, and I have to go back to either Google, or I have done it so many times that it may just click in, or there is going to be like, okay, I need to watch a YouTube video for this. Even if I have done this like 100 times, it doesn't matter. This is something that this is a part. And what do I do in my training, by the way, Kev? This is what I do in my training. I teach people, and then I tell people that it's not that I want to teach you a product like a PDQ deployment. I'm not teaching you how to deploy a software. I'm teaching you how to actually go to their website and find their documentation is something that I'm really, really teaching you. Because I'm telling people that if you don't have the patience of how to look at solutions, your job is going to be very vulnerable to be like, you're not going to be able to do your job. Level 1 is 80% of troubleshooting on Google, basically, right? There's an error. You got specifically in the beginning, because you rely on Google, you rely on people, you rely on communities, right?
Right.
And I tell people that Danish is not going to be there for help. Remember, guys, this comment, Danish is not going to be there to help you on the job. Danish can't. Danish legally can't. Danish cannot get into Kev machine and help fix problems, right, Kev? Right? You know, you're in the business, right? So we can't legally just get in there. And so I tell people that Danish is not going to be your friend after the training. So I tell people that I'm very aggressive when it comes to after the training, you're on your own, and how to actually approach is something I'm going to teach you. And that's what basically the members are kind of like confident right here. Even though after 3 months of training, they feel like they are in the job, basically. So thank you, Gigi, for all that information. Let's bring Stan here. Stan, are you here? I'm not sure if he's here. Stan, are you here? Okay, so maybe Stan is not here. So let's see. Blank, are you there? I think Blanca probably is also not here.
I'm right here.
Oh, Stan, you're here. Sorry. Stan, tell us what happened today. Give us a little bit about your introduction and let us know what happened today with you and all the job stuff.
So, like, I'm still fresh into. I just got done with my training. I'm still with my test out. So I started applying. Well, I started yesterday or 2 days ago. Then a recruiter contacted me and scheduled an interview, which we talk a lot about the interview. He asked me what I know, which I told him I know a little bit of everything, which he asked some questions. I told him. So he had to stop the interview. Do you know Active Directory? What do you know in it? So I told him what I can do in Active Directory. So he said, okay, that's good. That's what the employer is looking for.
So the first technical question was, tell me about Active Directory.
Yeah, he had to stop like the interview. I said, look, let me stop. I want to ask you a personal question. Do you know Active Directory? I said, yeah, I know Active Directory. He said, okay, let's continue. So we continue. Then it's like I got accepted for after the interview, which they already sent me an offer if I want to accept or not. I'm still like, it's
wow. So that's the first.
It's not a good,
and
it's not a good pay. It's not a good pay, but at the same time, I need the experience. So I'm in between getting the job or taking it because of the experience. So that's where I'm right at right now.
So that's a good point. Can we
Do you
pause
have
over
any
here?
other jobs lined up?
Yeah. Go ahead. Adi, are you there?
Yeah. Do you have any more interviews? Do you have any more interviews lined up?
No, that's the only interview I have right now.
Okay. Well, the thing is, I would say that if they lowball you, and you can always counteroffer, say, hey, look, I got another job lined up. They're offering me this much, blah, blah, blah. Can you offer me more? But since you don't have it lined up, you can't really, say much to them. And considering, the economy right now is really bad, and I would say if you want to take this job for experience-wise, take it. Nothing wrong with taking it and then learning it, and it's just at the same time, working towards a certification. In 6 months, I guarantee you'll get another offer from some other company. You go do that and move up. So all depends on you. If you want to continue to do your education and then wait for another interview, or you just want to take this and get experience. So still call, buddy.
That's a very good question. Kev, what's your take on this? Everybody have a different experience on this. This is a very important question. A lot of people are going to come through this. What do you think on this?
I was going to say the exact same thing that he said. So right now the economy is extremely bad. I'm not going to lie to you. So the economy is bad right now. So I say take whatever you could get for the time being and until the economy stabilizes. So once the economy stabilizes, because I work in a hedge fund, I'm going to tell you this as I work from a hedge fund standpoint. Once the economy stabilizes, in the meantime, just take that job, get the experience, get as much experience as you possibly can, and then get certified too while you're doing that job. And then while you're doing that job, basically it adds experience to your resume. So then when you go to the next job, you could actually double your salary or extra more money. So that's the way I look at it. That's what I would do if I was in your position. I would actually take the job, get certified, get the experience, put it on my resume. And then when I go to the next job, I could double my salary based on getting the experience from that job that you're actually doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I kind of, if you remember, my answer was like basically the same, but I said that if you have other income coming in, like financial income that's more than this, like let's say double the amount or something like this, then you still have, if you're in that phase, right? And you let's say this is going to impact your financially even more, then you can even wait and apply to more jobs, and that's fine if you want to wait on that. But if you feel like you don't have that kind of pressure, then 100% you want to get in now, because you want to add this to on your resume, you want to add this in your experience, and you want to learn this stuff, because in the beginning it's all about learning quickly, right?
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
the thing is, like, the fact that they're giving you a low amount, they're probably not expecting a lot from you anyway. and so you don't have much experience, I'm assuming. So having that already expectation from your company that, okay, we're going to give him really low money because he doesn't know much. So that's another thing you need to consider, is that your stress level at your job is probably not going to be as high, because they're already going to expect you to be at a super entry level, and if not super entry level, but entry level, but they're not going to be expecting you to know, like, what the schema level of Active Directory as a domain controller, things like that, like a high level things, right? So think of that as well, that you're giving you low money, but they also should not be expecting really, really high things from you. So you can use that as an advantage in a way that, keep studying, get a certification, and within 6 months, get a job that pays you double or 30% more, something like that. Because, that way you can always tell the next job, look, I already have a job. I'm making this much. I want that much, right? So if you don't have a job, you're going to continue looking for another job, and this economy, they're going to be like, look, beggars can be choosers. We're giving you a job, take it or leave it, right? So think about that way.
Thank you very much. And one of the main things is that it happened like a coincidence, because right now I'm studying like my associate in cybersecurity. So the job is actually security help desk support. So it has to do with
there you go.
Security.
This is then actually really good then. You're getting it paid. It's not even a free internship kind of thing. Is you're getting paid and you're getting a towards specific to what you're gonna go to, and that's gonna really, really help you then.
And let's say you finish your associate, whatever, and now think about this. You're already in the company. They're like, oh, Stan already finished his stuff. Maybe we can give him a better position.
Exactly.
And you can go up and up.
Yeah, that's
so think of this way.
Yep. I'll give you my story that when I was in this company and they hired me as it was a user support tech, but I got that job because we got laid off from a school that Hadi was talking about, and I was kind of like overall net admin everything, right? And I had an IT director with me too, but she was more of management type of person. So they laid us off, but I had all these skills with me, so I couldn't find another job quickly as a sysadmin. So I took on this user support tech job. And what happened is that after when I got that job, I had all these skills. So what I did, I started to give these skills and try to implement some of my sysadmin skills into the help desk environment. Like I did automation, I bring a lot of like, okay, we need to have this type of ticketing system, and we need to do inventory system. So why are we doing manual stuff, man? Let me make it easy for you guys, right? So even though I'm not telling them that I'm better than them, at the same time, I'm respecting their skills because they have huge amount of experience, and I was learning from them as well too. So you see, I was like a sysadmin with help desk skills, learning from a lot of people who are really, really good at their stuff, but also giving them more so then they can make their life easy. So what happened, that just like what Hadi's saying, I had a job lined up, so they were paying me a lot more as a specialist for other company, but I know that company is small, and I was basically after the CIO, I was the next person. So I know that company is very small. I'm going to be like freaking, they're going to take everything out of me for that money. So I went back to this company and I told them, hey guys, they're offering me this much, and I really love this company. I don't want to leave this company. Honestly, I love this company. I want to stay here, but what can you guys do for me? So, a great company won't let you go because they know the importance. So then they introduced 3 sysadmin positions in their company and converted all of the application analyst people into sysadmins just because I was leaving that company. And they took me into that. And I mean, of course, that became my client. So you can see things can happen for you. Start with a company, try to show them that you can do a lot for them. And this is the perfect time right now. We already talked about it. I think Kev also talked about it in his community post. This is the perfect time to show them, if you get into this company right now, is try to be there. Try to be there like, okay, I'm going to work with you. If people are listening to me on YouTube as well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be at the job already. So this is a time that you want to be there for them because they rely on you. And later on, they're going to think about, we don't want to let this guy go. I mean, this is a very important person, right? And then they're definitely going to be helpful to you in your career. So, okay. So now moving on to Vilad, I want to bring you back. What happened to you? Because you just started a job and something happened.
Yeah. I just started a job and I think it was a week ago. And the guy, my employer, he was like really happy guy, and he just has a lot of plans. He actually wanted to buy a house for all of his IT group and like make labs, and he likes to teach people, all his employees. So he just bring me all of that ideas, and he said, I will teach you, and we will go forward, and like so excited about everything. And I thought, wow, I landed a perfect job, exactly what I wanted, right? And yeah, it was a week. He has 2 in-hour employee, and so one of them was like I was going through their system, ticketing system. I was like going through their regular stuff, what they doing every day, and but at the same time, it wasn't like too much job. It was kind of calm and not much to do. So it's why the main guy, he was trying to find new clients and to bring us like more money to the team. So and it was happening when this virus stuff starts happening too. And how is all of that ended? He wasn't able to find the new clients because they don't want to meet in person. And another thing, like his old clients, they're closing their business and they don't want to pay him anymore. So and he said, sorry, Vlad, that's what's happening right now. And unfortunately, I can't pay you anymore. And I need to actually fire another 2 guys what I just hired. And yeah, that's what he brought to me. But he said you always could just
This
give
is a
a reference. You could just put me on a reference, and somebody, if you find a new job, so they'll call me. And
this is a very important information for us who are already in this IT career, because we're giving guidance to too many people. And Kev, you're listening to me because this is the first time that we are experienced as well, right? Coronavirus is something that I'm experiencing for the first time in my life. So we may think that there's going to be a lot of remote jobs, but there's a lot of people that are losing jobs. And here's an example, live example, that some people just started, and because of that company, they are not strong enough, are losing clients. So they have to let go of their IT people. So something that we are learning, we're learning this from you right now. And I had a sense of it. And I was telling people that, look, some of the members that finished the training, they may be worried that why am I not getting a call back? So you have to think about multiple things over here. Small companies are going to go down, right? Most of it. But also think about the HR people are in panic right now. They are working from home. They're not used to this kind of stuff. They are in panic. So when things are in panic, people don't think correctly, right? Things are not going to be on the time. Even if you apply to positions, things are going to take time. Now, and also in other case, yes, this is also true that it is bringing so many people into the stress mode, like me and Kev and other people, that we're going to tell people that we need people. I cannot do this. I cannot take care of 400 people all by myself. You need to hire more people. So this also creates an opportunity, which we're going to learn in a few weeks, how many new titles are going to be available on Indeed.com. So don't lose hope, guys. There's always something out of, like, if this thing is happening, that's bad. We know it. But there's also something positive that's going to come out. And that's hope, right? At the end, the doctor's going to tell you what? We're going to fight it, right? There's a hope out of it. So that's what I'm going to tell you, Vlad. That no hope right here, right?
I would tell you, I just want to add a few more words. While I was in our area of Canada, I was able to have a time to, study in our like aspects of the life, right? And I was discovering a very interesting teaching, like it's called Abraham Hicks, and it's basically about attracting in your life or whatever you want to have. So, and yeah, this is the most important thing. What if you want to attract something, you need to make a picture of it, how you want to see that, and you need to feel in this situation and feel in this position, how you, like, let's say you have it right now, how you feel about that. So it's why I find work that fast. Like, it's like 2 weeks and I already found it. Yeah, because I just adjust myself to that wave. What I will need to find that.
Mm.
So yeah, and I still think positive about that, and think like just trying to make a picture of the company where I want to work.
Exactly.
Be
I
more
mean,
exact.
we all are stuck in a situation. We can only maximize on this time if we're sitting home, right?
Yeah.
Trying to look for jobs and everything. This even gives you more ability to be more dedicated, more focused on the trainings and stuff like that. Kev, what would you say if somebody's in this situation? Like, what would your advice to people if they? How are you thinking about this stuff?
I was just remembering when I was when I was trying to get my third job, and I got laid off of my job because it was a startup company, and I worked as a Mac technician, and after that they didn't have any job openings after that, and I didn't have enough experience in IT, and I was actually 4 months without a job. Just so you guys probably don't know, but I was actually 4 months without a job. I couldn't find a job anywhere, and I didn't have enough experience, and in that same year, I had to pay for school because I went to college. I had to pay for school, and in that same a bunch of things happened in that year. And my dad was diagnosed with failure of 2 kidneys. His kidneys were at 0%, and we had to pay the medic bill for that as well. So I don't know if you guys know, but I have my dad's he's an ex-dialysis patient that took dialysis for 5 years, and he needed a kidney transplant. And at the time, I didn't know he needed that, and he was in the hospital as well. So he had a lot of things going on. So, and I know that the economy was really bad as well for me. It's just nothing was working for me. So the advice I gave myself was that even if it's not IT related, I would try to work a different job for the time being until I find an actual job in IT. So even I give this advice to someone else that's not in the that's not in New York. Like I have people that talk to me all the time from different states. I tell them, like, even though you can't find a job, a specific job in IT, try looking for a different job and keep applying for jobs while you're working that job. So you have money coming in, basically. You gotta have money coming in, because you don't have any, you can't find a job and there's no money coming in anywhere, then you're gonna have a bunch of problems. Yeah. So I recommend doing a different job. Even though if you can't find an IT job, do a different job and get certifications as well. And then when you find that job, when you keep applying, you find that job, then go apply for that job afterwards. Because I would never want anyone be in that situation when they can't find a job, their hands are tied, they have nothing in their bank account, and they might be homeless. You know, that could happen. That almost happened to me. So, you know, it's possible to happen. It happens to everyone, unfortunately. And everyone has their own personal problems that they deal with. Also, I'm telling you that right now, the way the crisis is right now, I'm pretty sure people are going to hire you. It's just that they're taking forever to get back to you because of this crisis. Because no people like Donish said, people are not used to working remotely. The hiring process might be a lot slower than usual because they just don't have access to their office. They don't have access to do certain paperwork. People are sending emails back and forth, trying to sign documentations, trying to work with HR, trying to work with a job recruiter. You know, everyone has to work together basically. And they're sending information back and forth, and that's why they're probably taking long to hire someone in IT. But I also tell people to keep applying for jobs. Like, it doesn't matter how many jobs you apply for. You just spend as much time as you possibly can. Sit in your computer, spend 2-3 hours applying for as many jobs as you possibly can. Don't give up. Yeah. You know, don't give up. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. That's why I tell people, don't give up. Don't lose hope. Because I've been in that situation where I had lost a lot of hope, where I had nothing. Everything bad happened to me, and there's always a positive side on the other side of the road. Basically, that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at life. So I tell you not to give up and apply to as many jobs as you possibly can, and keep doing it. Keep doing it. Rinse and repeat, and keep doing it. And apply to as many jobs as you possibly can, and don't give up. Don't give up. I'm telling you right now, don't give up. I know it's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be rocky for everyone, even for me, even for Donish. We don't know how long we're going to have our jobs. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, you know, anything could happen. So you have to keep doing that, you know?
Somebody, Vilad, can you stop sharing your screen? I think you're sharing your screen.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I just actually want.
Oh, you want to share something? Okay. I thought maybe it's a mistake.
That's what I received today. They're like writing the scenes, like, and they want, they will be suspended until April 12th. That's all that's happening. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, that's what I received today.
Yeah, guys, yeah, definitely. So That's it's.
I have a
Yeah,
question
go ahead.
for Kev. Sorry, I just trying to we were talking to Kev, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a question that like we are searching for jobs and we are applying to a couple of jobs every day, and so what do you think that what can be done simultaneously so that we can have some sort of understanding of uh, what it would be like to work in a job, like to have some sort of practical on daily basis. So do you think we need to do we should do trainings? Danish, can you put some light on this about the trainings?
Yeah,
Are
let
they
Kevin,
specific industry
sure.
oriented, or
Sure.
how does that work?
Let Kevin answer this because we both are different. We have a different experience. I have an answer,
Okay.
but yeah, let Kevin explain it. Maybe Heidi can help to this one, and I'll give you an answer. So, Kev, what do you think about this question?
I think what I tell people is if they're trying to get some sort of experience or they're trying to get some real life scenario things, I tell people to practice at home, create labs every day. I stress labs like crazy. So like if you want to learn something, if you want to learn about Active Directory, create a virtual machine, put Active Directory on it, put Server 2016, put Server 2019. If you want to do
Right,
something
right.
that has to do with Microsoft 365, learn how to configure that. If you want to configure DNS DCP, do that on the virtual machine. If you want to learn about Windows 7, put that on the VM, or if you have Windows 7 on your computer already, practice that. Same thing with Windows 10. If you want to practice Windows 10, put it on the VM, or maybe you have it on your computer already and practice it. So I always tell people to practice labs at home. And also on top of practicing labs at home, you also want to do a little bit of soft skills as well, like learn soft skills, learn how to talk to people, learn how to interact with people. Like see how we're talking right now, like how we're talking back and forth is actually is extremely good because it actually helps you out when you go on job interview. So you feel more comfortable when you're having a job interview. Even now, like the what's going on right now, I'm 99% sure that you're not going to be called to go in person for a job interview. I'm 99% sure that they're going to call you to do a video interview. So now that we're practicing it right now live as we're speaking, this actually is going to be beneficial for everyone in this live chat because most of the job interviews now are probably going to be more video job interviews. So do labs and practice as much as you possibly can with talking to people. You don't want to sound like a robot when you go on a job interview. And that's it. That's pretty much my advice.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I think that's good. I just have a follow-up question for you. Like doing labs and doing you mentioned that if you want to learn Active Directory, you do that, you install that, you configure everything. That's true. But like if I don't know what position I can get. For example, I apply to various positions. Some of like Danish also mentioned, and some of you also mentioned that you were having mixed roles at your jobs, like system admin or IT support. So what kind of things we should do like on daily basis? Should we make a list of all the job descriptions and of all like how to do, because there is a lot of information about each and every job, and it's impossible to go through everything. So how to meet the expectations of the interviewer, and I hope I'm clear. I mean, it's
I would
so
learn a little bit of everything. I'm not gonna tell you to be all over the place. I would learn a little bit of everything, just specific to the job, and obviously the rest of it on the job that you're applying for. You're not gonna know everything in the job. That's the reason why they have
right.
training. They're gonna train you so you can learn it. So you wanna learn just a little bit of everything, just enough to understand it. Like basically, you're wearing multiple hats. Basically, like in my other job, I wear multiple hats. Even in the job I'm working right now, I wear multiple hats. So you might want to learn a little bit of everything, but not too much that it overwhelms you, if that makes sense. So you want to learn just a little bit of everything. So like if you're applying for a network admin job, you might want to understand about like firewall, ports and stuff like that. If you're going to apply for a desktop support job, you might want to understand how to do password resets and account creation. If you want to apply for a sysadmin job, you might want to understand about like, for example, like understanding some server side stuff like backup and redundancy and stuff like that. So you're gonna learn a little. You might want to learn a little bit of everything, but not too much that it overwhelms. Just a little bit of everything. So then you could apply for multiple jobs. Because some you'd be surprised because some jobs that you apply for, it might be a network admin job, but it's probably not even a network admin job. It's probably a desktop support job. They might be asking for some desktop support with it. So
Correct,
it's good to
correct.
know a little
That's
bit
true.
of, it's good to know a little bit of everything, not a lot, not too much. If you know, no one's gonna know everything. Just study a little bit of everything. Basically, that's what I recommend.
Yeah, let me jump into this because this is such an important question, and this leads to so many different things that, you know, like this is where the problem is, right? That even if you want to start, then where do I start? It's like, I need that start, right? It's like, is it Active Directory? Is it a ticketing system? Is it, what do I need to do, right? For someone brand new, this is where we invested a lot of time. Now, remember, the question that you asked today, I'm sure I can guarantee you that Eddie or Eddie, the people that have done the training will not be asking this type of question. Why? Because they were trained mentally for this question, that where do you start actually, right? And then what do we cover? So I just want to give you an example right here that, you know, it's not about teaching everything. Like what Kevin says, that you cannot learn everything. None of us can learn, cannot learn everything. Even at 13 plus or 0 years of experience, I still don't know. I would say maybe 70% I know, or 60%, even 60% I would say, because I need to learn this stuff all the way on the fly. So I just want to give you an example. If you're looking at my screen, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can.
yeah.
Yeah, so basically when we have a description like this in our training, we tell people that I'm going to pull up this description like that. This means I'm going to tell you that the only thing you need to learn is probably a little bit about, of course, this we say, okay, you need to know about Active Directory, you need to know about server, you need to know about Office 365, you need to know about virtualizations. Now, we basically tell people that that's it. The reason for that is that if you can talk about these things, you're talking IT right here. Now, this is a next step for people. Like, okay, how much should I learn about descriptions? Like, I can go in there. The next description is going to be actually different, right? And Kevin can verify that every description will have something different. But listen, everybody know Active Directory. Everybody respect that skill right there, right? If you know about it, they say, okay, you know about domain networks right here. If you talk about Office 365, then you know about it. So it's like this. You know about something, it can cancel out this kind of stuff. They don't expect you to know switching. They don't expect you to know Meraki. Now, okay, if I'm not using Meraki, is that my fault? I mean, okay, there's so many different type of products out there. I'm not going to learn every single product in my whole entire IT life, and you can do it as well, right? Nobody can do that. So, but by telling people that you know at least this stuff, it validates that at least you have done a little bit more than other people. And that brings us to that problem where a lot of people are trying to get into IT, but you got too much competition going on right now. But then when you land a job, the next thing is that can you do your job easily? Can you do your job a little bit more less stressful way? So you need that guidance. That's what we're telling people right now. Because if you know about these things, then it makes your life easy to troubleshoot things. Like, for example, when we train people, when you say, where do I start? We train people, the starting training is from the Active Directory. Because we tell people that you're going to a business world, and most likely 90% of the time, they're going to have Active Directory. So the rest of the stuff comes after that. Your access comes after that. Your calls comes after that, password resets, right, Kevin? Like, most of these things comes after Active Directory. So you see, this is where a lot of people struggle, that where do I start? Then we basically guide you in like that. And that's where if I bring one of my members who have done the live training, whatever I'm saying right now, I'm sure they understand this pretty well, because they've spent 14 hours of getting trained like that and asking these questions. So I'm not trying to tell you that come and take my training, right? I'm telling you that you can take any other training, but as long as they have a proper map for you, proper titling for you, that after this training, you can only apply to these type of descriptions. You cannot go left or right. So this is where we invest a lot of our energy, that we're going to bring up many different types of coding, that we're going to bring up, let's say, 5 or 6 different descriptions with different titles. And in that, after the training, you can look at it and say, okay, I know 40%. So you're ready for the job. And that's all we tell people, right? So even that's the same case with self-labs. If, let's say, and of course, Kevin is not paid by me, and he's not going to talk about my product or anybody. They're not going to talk about my products. But even if you go with a YouTuber telling you to do your own labs, they're also telling you the correct thing. It's just that somebody of course, needs to do another step right there. And then for the next step, we're the solution. You can always do it yourself as well. You can watch a lot of videos on YouTube. It's just that it's just too much for you then. That's why you asked the question, right? What do I do? Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this? Do I do that? There's, it requires a lot of things out there. So I just want to give you a little bit of people who are watching this. Kev, you are watching this too, so you probably get a little bit more clarity on how we do things over here too. So if I show people, when we talk about our training, we're not just basically talking in our training, right? We give them this 30 GB RAM access directly from the web base. So this is, this is a vSphere, right? So we give them this access, and then they come over here, they create what? They create virtual machines, they create a whole domain controller, help desk machine, and then they create client machines. So that answers you right there, Gureen, that how technical and how practical it gets over there. So when we start talking about this, after that, what happened is that we basically give people, after our phase 1 of training, and this is where we break you down, we tell you all the stuff, where you need to apply, we finish all of that stuff, and then get you into more of what's out there. That's like, say, testout.com. And testout.com, a lot of people know about that. And we don't, by the way, we don't give codes or anything like that. They are a part of our training. So when you are in our training, you got to finish their labs. So this is where we get more into more technical stuff, deep stuff like that. But here's another thing. A lot of people may get confused. If I'm doing all this stuff, this is going to take me too much time. And we tell people, you don't have to take that kind of time. After phase 1, you're ready, basically. And people have landed a job, and still they're learning till today. We have a person who has been in the job for 2 months right now, and he's coming back and finishing his phase 2 yet. So it's all about your approach. You can take this approach, be very practical, or you can take any other approach from other people and mix up the things from their videos. Like Kevtech channel is full of how to apply for jobs, and he has people have landed a job without even knowing about us. So that's another thing. They don't know about us. They still landed a job. And there are people that don't know about Kevtech and Danish or JobSkillshare and nobody, and they're still landed a job. It's all about help somewhere. Like, you need to find somebody to follow, right?
Right.
So that should definitely answer.
Sounds good.
Your question.
Yes. Yes, it did. And I think I'll work on that more. Like, how to not even knowing about the topic, but how can we make a story out of it? And story can only be made when we have the practical skills. When we do some kind of training.
That's another very, very important part right here. When we train people, we make a story based on ticketing system. So Kev, this is another thing that we do. When we start training, we tell people that you're in ticket 1. So we're hiring you, by the way. So when we hire them, we tell them, okay, you're the help desk, but how do you become a help desk? Who gave you the rights? How do you even know that there's Active Directory? How do you find all that kind of stuff? So when somebody land a job, they are so knowledgeable that even if they're brand new to a company, it doesn't matter wherever they are, they can pull up which is the part of a domain controller of Active Directory. What is the domain name? What is the net BIOS name? How do I type / username and give that rights to install a software? How do I do all that kind of stuff? Makes your job super easy as a level 1, because that's where then you have more time to learn about extra stuff, because you're not investing your time in something very basics, right?
Right.
So, Kev, what do you think about it? I mean, do you think it's like, can somebody really do everything without mentorship? Or I know they can do it, but do you think it's a better idea to go with a mentorship or just go on your own?
I'm be honest with you. I went to a school, but then after that, I pretty much learned everything on my own. It's like through sheer willpower. I learned everything on my own. That's just the way I worked. But if I had to go back in time, if I had to work IT back in time, going back a long time ago when I first started, I recommend having some sort of guidance. The reason why for that is because you don't know where to go. And also, when you work in IT, I'm gonna actually relate it to college. When you work in IT, you don't know what you don't know what you want to study. Just like college, you don't know what you want to study. You don't know if you want to do a desktop support. You don't know if you want to do sysadmin. You don't know if you want to be a network admin. You don't know what you want to do. So definitely recommend getting guidance from someone that already knows, that already has been in the field. It's just like when I tell people, like, you should listen to people that are older than you, because some of them have experience and some of them been through something that you probably have never been through. So you get experience because of that. That's why I like talking to older people, because they have a lot of stories to share with you. But
Yep.
also the same thing with IT. Like I like to be near veterans, near people that know what they're doing, you know, people that have experience. So definitely guidance in IT, whether it's reading a book, whether it's talking to someone, whether it's taking a course. I recommend a course. If I were to go back, like I said, if I were back in time, I recommend getting a course. That's the reason why I created my YouTube channel. It's because I want to help people get into IT. Because
It's
when
like
I
a
first,
course.
when I,
Your
yeah,
YouTube channel is actually a course.
yeah, when I first started IT, I didn't know where to go, and I was extremely frustrated because I went online searching for specific stuff to that, and I couldn't find anything. And I'm like, why is there nothing on this? You know, why
By
is
the
there
way,
no content on this? You
when
know,
he's talking about this, let me share my screen so I can pull up
Yep.
his YouTube channel, because it makes sense when he's talking about it. And let's just go with his playlist right here.
yeah. So when I first started IT, I'm like, I was extremely frustrated because I didn't have any guidance at all. I was frustrated because no one would guide me to, you know, no one's gonna hold your hand and tell you what to do. So eventually, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna create a channel where I basically tell people my story, but also help people get into IT. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason why Danish has his channel too, to help people get into IT, because you know, he has a background just like me where we don't have experience in IT, and now we want to share our stories with everyone, and we want to help people get into IT because some people don't know. They don't know where to start, where to go, what to do. They don't know what to do exactly. So that's the reason why he has this channel. That's the reason why I have my channel, is because going back in time, like I said, not everyone knows what to do, and you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your time. I believe, like people tell me, time is money. You don't want to waste your time, and you also want to get things done immediately, if that makes sense. You want to get good results. So I tell people to, you know, get some guidance from someone or something, instead of actually doing it on your own.
It's very important. It's, first of all, it's called smart learning. And then the second term that I'm going to use, proactive skills learning, right? So you're basically smart to follow people. And then after that, you're proactively learning these skills so you're not wasting your time. And this is one of the biggest area that hit us, and hit us badly when we were in our in IT. Like what he's saying, that if I have a time to go back, I would seriously consider a mentor. I would seriously consider a mentor. Why? Because they're going to lead us to some of the areas very quickly. And I don't need to get stuck in something very small, right? Because I have people that have spent 12 to 15 years in help desk and they still can't get out. Yes, it becomes a problem at the end. At the end, it will become a problem if you want to move up and you don't have that mentorship. So trust me, this is going to become a very annoying thing. And this is where a lot of people struggle. So definitely, this is something that you all should consider. And we're not saying that you should follow us. There are many mentors out there. You guys should do a research before you invest even $1 in with somewhere. More than $1, I say that your energy is even worth more than that money, because we invest a lot of energy into this kind of stuff. So we know the value of this, right? We get happy. Of course, this is also our business. This is also giving us something in the on a return. I mean, if you're running a YouTube channel, of course there's some return, but that's not money that this is not our real money that we're feeding our family for, and you all know that. But we're doing this with a passion, right? Our passion is to tell people that, listen, there's a long way for you guys to achieve your goals. So be smart about it. Nothing more than that. We're just telling people that just use your common sense, and that can save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you may be even making more than us at some point. If you take the right decision, and you should come back and be also humble enough to teach other people, because our goal is to not just we are the only people on a YouTube and we can do all this. We're telling straight up that we are not there, that there are some people that are way up there, but it's not about that. It's about, like, if I know something, I'm sharing it to you. If you know something, then you share it with somebody else, and collectively, if we come together, these 4 or 5 channels can be a big thing. Honestly, even if you guys land a job, you yourself have an experience that other people don't have, and other people are looking at your experience then. So you should bring your own channels. Bring up your own channels and talk about this experience that you're going through. It's very valuable stuff right there that you already have. So
Danish,
yeah.
I like that part. We making money more than you. That's great. I like that.
One day.
I have I don't know, is that I just have a question for you regarding those startup companies, because I mean, I'm listening to you guys and I'm thinking about a lot of things, because I already prepared myself mentally to take a pay cut from my current, what I'm doing right now. So I'm ready to start ground zero, but at the same time, I don't want to go somewhere where I can start and next thing you know, I go through all this layoff and I don't want to deal with that. Is there a way to identify those companies? Like, since we're applying, like, according to the job title, is there a way to find before even moving forward with them going to those interviews? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, it's a tough question. Let me ask other people.
Okay.
Kind of cheat in my answer, So I'll ask Kev first, then I'll ask Hadi first, and then I'll cheat into it. So Kev, what do you think about this one?
That's a really hard question to answer, because you don't know if the startup is going to be successful and you don't know if it's going to actually make money. So it's kind of hard to answer. And also, going back to other jobs, I always look at Glassdoor. You can't go to Glassdoor if you're looking for a startup job. You won't be able to find any information on that job. So I'm just being honest with you. Basically, you're taking a risk. So it's a risk that basically it says, if it's a startup and it's a risk, it's basically like either get the job and you lose your job in a couple of months, or you get the job and the job moves up, and basically you move up with the job and you get a higher position in the next couple of years. So it's actually a risk. So it's actually like, I say, like, the way the economy is now, the way everything is right now, I think it's like a 60-40% risk, the way it is now. I'm just being honest with you. So basically, I'm saying that it's either a positive or a negative. So you want to make sure what you're doing is actually right. It's actually going to help you. You don't know if that company is going to be there for a really long time, because it's just a startup versus the company that you're working in right now. So you have to look at that, do your research by looking at other companies that have been around for a really long time that are stable, using Glassdoor and other I guess company website reviews before you make a decision. That's basically what I want to say about that.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Hadi, are you there? Did you get that question? Go ahead.
What was the question?
Go ahead and Gigi, ask again. I'm gonna finish my tea.
Oh my God, Heidi, you didn't hear me. Okay, so my question was, I was wondering if there is a way to pinpoint those startup companies before I move forward. Like, I don't want to run into starting in a company which I'm already making a sacrifice financially of, taking a pay cut. Then I get a job, and next thing you know, in the next 2 or 3 months, we can no longer continue because the company is closing or whatever. So is there a way to find before okay, this company is so small, or just
I got it.
I can't do that?
So what Kevin said, it's a risk you're taking, and my analogy is, no risk, no reward, right? So the job I have right now, it pays really well. I'm doing good. I love it. It was a risk I took because I left the job that I was there for 6 years, and I got on this job, which was a contract with NIH, and it was a 1-year contract, and I was coming in midway, and I was like, I don't know if they're gonna get the contract or not, but granted, what I was able to do for them and did help them win the contract, actually. So I was happy, and to me, right now these days, I follow by this rule that you have to take risk to get reward. All right. So now, if you're gonna go for a company that you think might get shut down in the next couple of months and things like that, the problem is going to be on you because you became comfortable, right? So don't ever be comfortable at a job. Always be looking out for something new. So if you got a job, you build up your resume right away, your responsibilities and things like that, and keep adding to it and upload it on these sites, Indeed, Dice, and Monster, whatever, and have them come into you. One of the things I do for fun is actually I do interviews for fun. I go and I just do interviews because I'm not gonna say I'm really good at it, but initially, it's just one of the things, like, it keeps you in practice, right? If something happens, you already have practice. So I do interviews for fun, and obviously, I don't have any intention of moving, but who knows? Maybe a job will come that like a couple of months ago, it was Facebook reached out to me, and I was like, oh damn, Facebook came to me. Like I didn't even look for it, but they came out and I interviewed with them, 2 of them, and then third one they were like, all right, we're gonna do coding. I'm like, no, I told you I'm not a coder. Like it's one of those
I
things.
was
Like,
pretty upset. I was like, they should not hire him because he's gonna leave this place, and I'm not gonna have a friend then. I'm like, what the hell, dude? You gonna leave us? I'm gonna go to like enjoy life in Facebook headquarters, and we're gonna be sitting here in Maryland.
hey man, who told you to get married? So Gigi, like, it's okay. I would say take the risk, go for it. You never know, but just don't be comfortable, right? You always keep it out for new opportunity. You never know.
You could say this about all aspects of the life. Like, don't be comfortable, like, about everything.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's a
We
good
recently
practice.
made a video that even with us, there's no job security. We can get fired. We can be laid off. So that's something. It's a part of this. I think working for somebody else, right?
Yeah, true.
So here's my take on this. The first thing, when you're applying for a job, of course, you have some internet data available to you, right? So by looking at this job that I'm showing you, there is review right there, right? There's going to be definitely reviews out there. So you don't want to, first of all, you don't want to be applying to a job that's 2.1 reviews. Oh, I spent some days, 5 days, and I got fired or whatever. Right? You don't want to be like, look, the first thing is your question itself. You are saying that you are making this decision that I want to pick and choose, right? A lot of people don't have that question. They want to get in first, right? But your situation is different. You already made up your mind that I want to pick and choose, so that's fine. Now you need to be focused on where you want to go. So in IT, we tell people, and when we're doing, and we did a training with you, and we told you, remember that MSP jobs and a service provider job and a technical companies are going to be very fast-paced, right? So mentally, you have to also accept this reality that even if I got that job, are you ready for that kind of fast-paced environment, right? But there are, for technical companies, there are always review available online. Nobody hire a technical company if they don't have such a good reviews. And Kevin can tell you that about the Kelly one, about the Robert Half, whatever that is. So many different type of staffing companies that are going to place you. They're going to have a huge amount of reviews out there. So the first thing is do your own research. If you have this kind of time that you can say, I want to pick and choose, then of course, that's the first thing you should do, right? The second thing is then, of course, after that, it's all about the company, right? If it's a nonprofit, is it a strong nonprofit? Is it a small nonprofit? Are you applying to a job that has 10 people and they consider themselves nonprofit? So of course, that's not going to be a job that you may expect to be very solid in IT, right? Because they're going to expect you to do a lot of different things.
Right.
But if you go for a very big nonprofit, it may be a very relaxed environment for you. It may be very stable because a lot of big nonprofits, they have a lot of money, and then they hire technical companies to help their IT people.
Oh.
To my knowledge, to my experience, at the end, I came to a conclusion. That's me on personal, me, myself. Kevin may be different. Hadi may be different. At the end, I came to a conclusion that I'm done with MSP type of jobs. I'm done with a very fast-paced jobs. I want to be making good amount of money. I want to have a very good medical backup. And at the same time, I don't want people to rely on me all the time. Donnie is a senior sysadmin. I'm going to go with him. Donnie's going to go with another IT company. Donnie's not going to have that kind of stress. But for me to be in the job market, I still need to be accepting this reality that this company can let me go anytime. So am I going to go into very comfort zone and just leave everything, and then maybe I'm not even employable, right? So I need to also think about these things. So all of these things are going to come to you, Gigi, when you land a job. And at the beginning, like I said, getting rejected, getting fired, letting go and stuff kind of that is a part of this game, this IT game. And if you accept this, that's going to happen to me, and I will be strong, I'll be positive, and I'll take it, no problem, then you have a very good future in IT. If you don't have that ability, then of course it's going to be hard, because it's more than a mentorship, right? It's just you then. It's a battle between you and your mind then, right? So that's kind of what I will tell you, that of course, reviews, ask, and you have us, right? People who are listening to us, you got this huge amount of resources now. Say, this is the company, this is what I'm applying for, this is the benefits, what do you think? Now, I tell everybody that we're not magicians right here. my decision to you to tell you that you're going to land a job to this company looks really nice because that's what I see and that's what I feel may not be true, by the way. So that's another warning with when I say, yeah, come to us, but come with this warning too, right? So guys, let's go to the YouTube questions. I know these guys been waiting for a long time and they'll be like, man, these guys are like talking themselves and nobody's looking at us. So let's talk about these questions, guys, from the beginning. Kev, I'm gonna take you a lead on this. And I'm an old guy. I'm 33 right now, and I'm having a breathing problem right now. I feel like I got.
We're almost the same age.
Kev, what would you say to the first question from John? I'm in help desk position, and what's the best way to move up in my IT? I have this degree. I think we already talked about this. Sorry. Let's go a little bit down. Let's go a little bit down. Let's go a little bit down. Okay, so here's Kev, this one. J Beats. So should I go for the Cisco cert or start with A+? I already have bachelor's degree in IT. Do you think one can get a good IT position with just bachelor's degrees?
I have a video on that on YouTube actually. So I had a job interview with a guy named Hector, and he only has a college degree. He has a computer science degree. He has no certifications and no experience, and I got him a job in IT. To answer that question.
So while he's answering this question,
I had an interview with Hector, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to get a job in IT. Like he was applying for jobs. He had a computer science degree. He had no experience. He's like, Kevin, what do I do to get a job in IT? And I'm like, let me look at your resume. So I actually was working one-on-one with him. He kept applying for jobs over and over and over again. And then he saw that he wasn't getting a job. So then he reached out to me. I looked at his resume and I noticed that he didn't have anything on like level 1 stuff. So he didn't have anything like level 1. Like he didn't have like Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, Exchange 365. He didn't have anything that has anything to do with IT. So we fixed his resume. I actually told him to do some training on Active Directory and all this good stuff. And then he went on a job interview after that. And then all the questions that was asked by the job interviewer, they asked him a bunch of questions, and all the things I had on my video, basically he just, he already knew what to say already. And he's starting at $24 an hour. He lives in New Jersey. $24 an hour. His first job in IT. He's working for an MSP company, and he doesn't have any certifications, and he doesn't have a degree. He doesn't have any experience, just a straight up degree. So to answer that question, you don't need to have everything. It's just how you market yourself in the job interview, basically. To answer that question.
If you guys are looking at my screen, because a lot of people have this common question: can I land a job with a degree, with a certification, this and that? Look at this interview. It's a 1 hour, 21 minutes of interview, and I'm showing that on my screen, by the way, Kevin. So it's right there. And if you go to his channel, that's the title of that interview. That's 1 week of interview. And to give you even more confidence, look at this. On Job Skills Share, we have Gustavo, who have spent 2 months in the job right now with nothing. He came from Armani customer service. And there are tons of different type of people who came from Best Buy, who came from customer service, this and this, accounting, and so many different type of people who came went to Afghanistan and Army, came back from Army career to IT. So we have tons of these type of examples. So that's something I will highly recommend you guys actually watch the videos. Because if you are not going to relate yourself to these people, then it's going to be always a question on question. Because these people are going to give you the real answers that, okay, we've been through this stuff. This is what I did. So that's exactly what you guys should follow if you guys want to get that confidence first. So the answer is yes, 100% yes, 200% yes.
Yeah, you need to believe.
There you go. All right, so next, going to next question right here. This is another one. What would you think about this one, guys? It sucks for me. I got all these degrees and I only got in help desk. I hope to move on. This is actually a good question. What would you think about this one, Kev?
Me, I feel like if you have all this, or if you have a degree and you want to move into something else, you probably, if you're doing help desk, you're either and I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna be rude or anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. You either have a bad attitude towards IT. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You have a bad attitude towards IT. You're not taking enough time to actually study on your own and actually learn and get certified and other things besides help desk. So you're not putting yourself as marketable as you possibly can to go to the next level, go to the next job. So if you've been stuck in help desk for a really long time, like if you've been stuck doing password resets for 2 to 3 years and you're still stuck in that same position, we're gonna have some problems. You know, I'm gonna tell you that you shouldn't be doing that. You should I think Hadi said, I think that you should never get comfortable in your job, and I personally agree with that as well. You're supposed to be making yourself better by getting certified, doing training, asking as much questions as you possibly can. And if you're in a help desk position, maybe there's a sysadmin role. You don't know if there's a sysadmin role. You want to talk to a sysadmin that's in the same department as you, get advice from him or her, and see how they got that position. You know, you want to do all that. It's not about being stuck in one position forever. You have to make yourself better and make yourself valuable as an IT person. There's a difference between doing help desk and having the same skills over and over again for 5 years than actually taking the time to learn something new. That's basically how I look at it. So that's just my opinion, hopefully.
Good stuff right there, Kevin. And this is such a common thing because a lot of people go to college, right? They pick a degree and they spend 4 years or 2 years on a degree, and you automatically assume that that degree is highly valuable in the market. So then when you go out there, you start comparing help desk with other jobs because of your degree. I'll give you a great example on this. One of our live members, if you guys are listening, listen to this. One of our live members had a master's degree in IT, and she did networking as well, like education, theoretical learning. Then she told me, Danish, if I did master's in IT, why do I have to go for help desk? And I'm like, first of all, what is your mind about help desk? What is the mentality behind help desk? So a lot of people think this is something that it's not a good job, right? They think that if I have a degree, I can skip this and I'm gonna become a more advanced technical person like sysadmin or network engineer. In reality, that is totally not true. You can become those type of people but I'm not promoting them and I won't promote it. I'd say you won't become like that, right? Most of the time you will get rejected. So I want to go back to clear this mentality first. If you're going for master degrees and stuff like that, it has nothing to do with you getting into IT now. They all rely on skills. If you want to move up in your career in IT, they're going to look for skills. A system administrator does not go with an IT degree that I have a bachelor's and I'm a sysadmin. I did my networking in bachelor. They're going to ask you, okay, if you're a sysadmin, tell me about virtualization, vCenter. How can you do vMotion? How can you convert the server from 2012 to 2016? You know, those are the things that are not going to show you in degree. So people need to first understand that. So, but to learn all of that stuff, you need to learn the basics, and that's the foundation. So the foundation in IT doesn't require anything to make you happy. Now, you may be thinking, man, that sucks. I'm going for all this degree stuff, and now you guys are telling me that, you know, that this is not how it works. So people who are listening to us, we're giving you a reality. We don't want you to spend so much time in your degree and then come back and realize, and you are one of those type of people who send us a comment in a YouTube channel that I wish I would have found you 5 years ago. Today, I would be a network admin or sysadmin making a lot of money. So if you're listening to me, that is the reality. And I tell people, Kev, this is another story, guys. Listen, some people in the beginning told me that you're a scam. That's when I started a YouTube channel, and I said that I'm going to charge for my courses. So you are doing free stuff, and now you're going to charge. So you're a scam, right? So I'm like, call me scam for the next 5 years. I'm going to come back every year, and I'm going to tell people that call me scam, no problem. Call me scam. And every 5 years, I make this one video that whoever called me scam, where are you, right? And the people who have believed in us today, they are actually a sysadmin and network engineers in the company, and some people even got shared in the company. So this is where they have achieved their goals. So it's all about people. They want to take this step. Everything is right there. They should do their research. All we have to do is to tell them the reality. But to make people happy, listen, There is no academic requirement. I say this again and again, there is no academic requirement for entry-level jobs. We have proven it by his video with Hector. We have proven this video with Gustavo on our channel, where multiple different type of people have done it many times. So you can do it. And if you really like some kind of official stuff, then bls.gov is not by Danish, by the way. bls.gov is by gov, right? And they're saying that this job title does not have any requirement, even training requirement, none. But to make you happy with, at least with your degree, every other single IT job academically requires some kind of degree requirements, even though that's not true to land a job, but they're still saying that there's a job requirement. So if there's an HR person going by this site, by going this official site, then your degree is still worth it. Your degree is not wasted, by the way. Your degree is going to help you later on if you want to become an IT manager, because there are going to be then two people battling for manager position. So what will happen? One is going to be very technical. One is going to be very technical as well. But then because both of these employees are very important to companies, they're going to put some kind of requirement. And for manager type of position, you do need some type of management courses. You do need some managerial skills, right? They're going to pick a person who is more academically sound. So your degree is not wasted again. So guys, do not get discouraged that I have master's, so oh my God, I just wasted all this money to become a help desk. Help desk is a requirement for skills, not and for your future. All right, this is how it works. This is not a kind of job that you're gonna do a degree and boom, you're just gonna start as a sysadmin and you're gonna start making 100K and oh yeah, and you can do all this stuff without these skills. That's not gonna happen. The reality is that that's not true. It's not gonna happen. Anybody have a comment on this? So if there's no comments, let's move on to next question. So I'm sure people are satisfied with these answers. These are not, of course, we're also not, like I told you guys, we're not the magicians. We're not the people that, you know, IT approved mentors. We are just talking about from our own experience. So whatever we felt and seen in our life, we're just sharing that, okay? Okay, so then Danish, your Active Directory videos have helped me a lot. So then of course, does your free help desk training course on Windows 7, okay. Does your free help desk training course on Windows 7 and JavaScript apply to Windows 10? Oh, the free one in Windows 7, okay, this is what you meant. So the Windows 7 skills we're teaching skills on our courses, by the way. So the skills are almost the same, right? We talk about installing an Active Directory and talking about domain. So it's the same thing, but people buy our courses. Why? Why do they pay or they invest? Because they get access to a brand new stuff and they get access to mentor. Like what we are doing today is something that we're charging for. A lot of people, like they're sitting with it, but we're training. It's a part of our training, right? We're not talking to each other like this and doing reviews, or this is more like informal type of Q&A. But in our training, we go over like, okay, let's go ahead and spin up this server. So if it's this server, this is and then we're gonna open up, like, let's say, hey, okay, this is what the domain control, we're gonna have a company like this, and we're gonna have multiple machines. And once we're done with that kind of stuff, then of course, after that, we jump into the servers like this, and then we deploy an Active Directory, we deploy softwares, we talk about access. We then create calls. We basically even pick on our members that say, hey, Gigi, pick up a call. And I'm sure people can verify that with me who have took the live training with me. We say, hey, Gigi, pick up the call. Okay, you're stuttering. You shouldn't be stuttering. Now let's go back and fix it, you know? So, I mean, that's the difference. If people want to ask, like, hey, this is, what are we teaching in our live training? Is this skill? So even if you're taking a free training, it's very valuable. It is an extremely big course. Even if you finish that whole free training, to be honest, you're almost ready for a job. It's just that some people want more guidance. Some people want more connection, right? And of course, after free training, we're doing more than that. We're giving you teststar.com access. We're working on your resume. Then you call us. We call you back. We're telling you, okay, this is a subscription. Let me give you the answer. So for that investment, that time, we are charging for that. Kevtech is actually doing some of the stuff that we're doing for paid for free. So I mean, I'm not gonna tell Kevtech to everybody from JobSkillshare go run with Kevtech. I mean, he may not have that ability. He's a human, right? So, but he's live right here. He can give you the answer. I mean, Kevtech, what do you think? People should jump on you?
I mean, I already have a lot of responsibility in my job with
There you go.
the CEO, so I don't know about that.
So guys, this requires a lot of, and that's why a lot of people appreciate our time, and we appreciate your time when you spend. We tell in our training that it's going to be 12 to 2, Kev, and it's always like 12 to 3:30, 12 to 4. So we don't go by our official timing. We just want to make sure that this person exactly knew everything that we were training for, and when they're satisfied, we leave them. So, and of course, I mean, to be honest, our platform is open to every single IT professional, even Kevtech, even this is live, and I'm telling him, he can come and join our platform, build his own courses, and he can make something living for himself as on the side. I'm not saying that this is something that I'm trying to tell him to come into our platform. This is something that it's an opportunity for a lot of people because of resources. Because a lot of people get stuck on, okay, I want to train you on something like your directory, then either you have to then rely on their Mac devices, HP devices, Dell devices. You don't know what kind of issue they're going to come across. Here they have a VMware access. Let's just get on it. Let me just train you on this stuff. So this platform is actually open to a lot of professionals. Like Hadi is also a trainer in our platform. So he teaches good stuff in there. And he teaches all the Office 365 stuff. So many people, if they're listening us online, we actually welcome them. If you have the ability to train people, you have the skills, come in, take benefit from this traffic, and tell us, hey, this is my training, and this is the level of my training, and this is how I'm going to charge. And trust me, all of these people that are watching us today, I'm sure people are they're going to pay you. Why? Because it's not about payment. It's about teaching some real stuff, but at the same time, we respect everybody's energy as well. It's not easy to run a family at the same time, do your own job, come back and do all this training and mentorship. Some people are not designed for that. Some people may be just doing YouTube. So it's like one way. So Kev is doing the same thing, but at the same time, he's also accepting some resumes, some people that he's working on. So he's very much involved with a lot of people. That's why people love him. But at some level, this also becomes a challenge when there's 40,000 people on his channel now. Now imagine every day, how many people are going to be contacting you. I need this, I need this, I need this. You did this for that person. Now I need that too, right? So the thing is that's where this kind of teaching can help a lot of people. Like I said, I feel like the way we have designed this platform solves a lot of problems. Because Kev, what we did, if you know about test.com and practice.com, I'm sure you know about these two platforms. Both are kind of competitors. And we are the only platform that made our own course and brought them into our platform, and now they're a part of our content. So if a YouTuber is saying that there's two platforms that are really good for you, test.com and practicelab.com. Now they got a mentorship with test.com and practicelab.com in one membership. So that's what we did for our members. And that's why when they see this access, they're like, okay, that's too much access. And now I need some guidance on it. So once they land a job, we don't want them to come back for more, some tiny money trainings. We want them to come back for some real trainings if they want to come back. And they have this development for 1 year of access, like practicelab.com, we give them 1 year access. So they have a huge library, routers, switches, every single thing in this practice.com access. So then we can guide them even more. Like, hey, okay, you're talking about Active Directory stuff and you're talking about a little bit more advanced stuff. I don't need to go through that kind of stuff on my video again and again. Here you go, take that lab right there. You see, it makes our guidance ship very easy too. Our mentorship becomes more, on target, I would say, because then you have ability to point someone from A to Z without telling them to go and left and right and go to that course, go to this course, go to Google that. So then that's where a lot of people, like people with a little bit, I would say a little bit weak patience, give up. So I hope people are understanding what we're doing over here, right? It's something that's very unheard of. What we're doing right now is there's some weird stuff we're doing with Access right now. So it's like, well, how are you? There's 3 different platforms, and we're just pick and choose things for you guys. So it becomes very powerful at the end. So here's another question: Is a NOC position a good job to start with? What's your take on this, Kev?
I have a friend that actually, when I worked in an MSP environment, I had a friend that worked NOC, and actually, yeah, it's a good job to start with. If you're gonna you could go and do network admin and do your CCNA after that and actually get into the network admin field. Definitely is a good job to start. So I'm not gonna say no to that. Plus his IT experience. So, you know, so I had a friend that did knock, and in my personal experience, he had to like do Cisco rack and stack. He had to set up a Cisco router. He had to configure it. He had to make sure he made some VLAN changes here and there. He did some firewall changes. He did a bunch of different things, and he really liked his job. And actually, it gave him enough experience to move into the next position. But this is more like network focus. So if you want to do network admin, then knock is, you know, a good job to get. Even if you don't want to work network admin, it's still a good job to have just for IT experience. So that's
I agree with that. I definitely, because knock engineers are the one that usually most of the people that work in a nonprofits or work in a single type of environment, a lot of times you work with a knock type of, even knock has their own help desk. So they're doing multiple jobs at the same time. So knock people are very knowledgeable. They have Cisco knowledge, they have help desk knowledge. And so these people definitely will grow very quickly. And anybody who is in an MSP environment will just grow quickly. If you're working for a company that specifically have a knock department, of course, they're also very knowledgeable. So knock is always a good position. So to answer your question. How literally everything works in terms of infrastructure because of your... Okay, so here's another question, Kev. What is the best way to move up from a help desk? Like to move up from, like, let's say, I'm in a help desk, I want to move up now.
I done a lot of videos on this before. So actually, I give advice differently to everyone. Depends what you're trying to do, but typically I give people the same advice. If you're doing help desk right now and you want to move as a sysadmin position, I would go and talk to a sysadmin in your current job and see what they do as a daily basis and learn as much as you possibly can with them. That's how I got a sysadmin job in when I worked in a hedge fund and I worked in an MSP environment. I wanted to be a sysadmin in my next job. So what I did was when I worked in an MSP, I was doing help desk and I wanted to learn how to get into sysadmin. So I actually stood a few hours late. I asked the sysadmin a few questions on how to do this, how to do that. What does this mean? What does that mean? And I got as much knowledge as I possibly can from that sysadmin. And then he told me that you have to take your Microsoft certification, get your MCSA, and then based on that, after doing that, after learning from him or her, and you get the guidance from someone that's in that department, then you're ready to move up after that. You maybe in your job, you don't know, because maybe in your job, they have an opening for that position. Maybe you could fill that position because you already know how to do it. And instead of them hiring someone else that's out of the office that knows nothing about the technology, they'll probably just hire you instead because you're already familiar with the technology. So you already have an understanding of it. So basically, that's what I would do. I would ask the sysadmin, get as much information as I possibly can, and figure out how he got that position or she got that position. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, if you want results for something, or you want something to happen to you, you have to follow someone that has those results. So I follow a sysadmin, ask him how he got into that, figure out what he did, and then figure out what certifications he got. And then obviously, if there's an opening in the job, you can talk to your manager, see if you could take a sysadmin role in that job position. If not, you could just move on to another job and actually apply for a sysadmin job after that. So that's my advice.
As a help desk, if you haven't have certification, practically that should be your first step. Why? Because this is where certification can help you, by the way. When you have a certification and when you're in a help desk, then you're validating a little bit more than going to an interview. You're kind of winning the mind right there. That, okay, I'm not just coming with a normal skills that I learned from one sysadmin. Here, you're basically saying that, look, this certification has been approved by many, many people, right? So first of all, I'm showing you that I have done my homework. So I have this paper with me. The second thing is that then certification may not be enough to go past the technical interview. Remember, this is where things are going to get technical. And even though help desk people are going to hire you with the customer service skills, with a highly 80% of the questions like that, but when it comes to a sysadmin positions, they're going to really test you. Right? They're not going to let you access a production server that's making, let's say, $2 million to let you touch that server. Why would they do that? It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, right? So they're going to give you a lot of low-end servers in the beginning. So at least even for that, their sysadmins are usually very much involved in very high-paced projects, right? a sysadmin don't have the ability to say that I'm just going to bring another server and I'm going to replace it with an image and I'm good to go. No, a sysadmin has to actually fix an issue if there's an issue going on with a file, config files and stuff like that. So they don't have another person to rely on. So you got to think about that too. So that's why people are hard on sysadmins, network engineer at that level, because they don't want to hire somebody that has that mentality that, okay, what do I do? And who do I ask, right? So in the beginning, when you go for these type of positions, first thing you should do certification. Second, try to learn some of the more advanced skills, more than just resetting a password in Active Directory. Think more proactively, right? Like, think about it. If an Active Directory goes down, what can I do as a sysadmin to bring it back up? If there's a server and there's a website running, if that one website goes down on a server, is it going to be up on a second server, right? If I have to upgrade my 2008 server to 2016 and it's a total different server and I'm going to be installing a fresh server, how do I migrate those websites that have been running for 5 years and they're making them huge amount of money, right? So why would somebody hire somebody with help desk knowledge, with basic knowledge, to give them a, let's say, 90K job? And let's not even talk about money here. It's about their money, and they're making millions out there. Does it make sense to you guys? That's where a lot of people fail to do well in a sysadmin positions, because they don't have these things. They don't think like that, right? They think that everything is going to be very low level. Currently, it's not going to be like this. So you have to learn these skills. And where do you learn these skills? Of course, then you have practice labs environment. You can buy it from us. You can buy it directly from somebody else. You can go to CBD Nugget. You can go to Prudo's site, and you can even ask us when are we going to put our sysadmin training. Just like at your help desk training, we're doing a sysadmin training that nobody's teaching these IIS type of skills, combination of skills in one training. That's what we're going to do. We're gonna be in competition with these people now, because we don't like the way when people say, let's just talk about, you're going to become a sysadmin, so let's learn about 2016 server, and that's it. You got 3 certifications done on servers, and now you can go and become a sysadmin. As soon as you go to the work, and they're like, okay, tell me about VMware. Tell me about a little bit about IIS or something a little bit more than that. Let's talk about cloud right here. How did you migrate that app to the cloud now? So you see, you're going to get stuck, and you're going to be, oh my God, this is too much for me. So that was the answer for you. I hope you got that answer and you understood. Okay, let's do a main skills. What are the main skills would you say to put on your resume? Top 5 or 10. Kev, go ahead and just give us those terms right there, like 5 or 10 skills.
For like main skills to get a job, or
I think that's what the question is, like main entry level job. I guess that's what the main thing is.
When I usually put almost the same thing for most resumes. When I help people with their resume, I usually put Exchange 365. I put Active Directory. I put learn how to configure DNS, DHCP. I put learn how to create mailboxes on Exchange 365. And I also put creating security groups and distribution groups on Active Directory. That's typically what I put.
So you hit that major areas right there. When I tell people that Active Directory, Office 365, here's it. Let me make it easy for people. I'll share something.
I could share my resume.
You can share your resume. I'll share first my resume.
Okay.
And then Kev can probably maybe, here, Kev, this is how we deal with this kind of thing right here. Areas of expertise. Are you looking at my screen, Kev?
Yeah, I see it.
So we basically focus the attention for HR people and an active IT people in a such way that they don't get into more specifics, but they understand the bigger terms, like ticketing system. Oh, we're using ticketing system in our company. Oh, this guy has expertise in ticketing system. Office 365 management overall, like a little bit more broader term, right? Tier one level troubleshooting. Active Directory user management, again, broader, right? Everything involved in it. Active Directory password, stuff like that. Client and server technology, everybody understand that when it comes to a technical guy, he will understand that they're talking about domain stuff. Build and manage virtual machines, just to put some spices in there. So this is like a spicy resume from our side that a lot of people have came back to us. And I think Rajan, if he's here, I'm not sure if Rajan is still here. Rajan left. Rajan was like, out of thousands of resumes, they picked, and the guy would actually call them and say, hey, your resume is pretty good. So, and this resume, to be honest, we haven't done like a professional thing. We didn't go with some kind of professional person or anything. It's just that the target is very important. So to answer your question, it's targeting certain people that they're going to be picking up that resume, and you're basically connecting with them without you even talking to them. So when they see this, they're already connecting with you. Why would an HR person interested in this? Why? Because the HR person is also using a ticketing system. HR person is also using Office 365. HR person is also using Active Directory. At some point, they know that this is a part of Active Directory. They even say that add this person to Active Directory. And the rest of the stuff like level 1 troubleshooting and stuff like that, that's to target the IT managers and the IT people. Because it's not only HR person is looking at their resume, right, Kev? It's like they share it. They got the resume. Hey, IT manager, what do you feel about this resume? It looks pretty good. You know, it has all this cool stuff that we're doing. So let's give it a try. And the IT person then moves on to the second part, which is right here. And that's where it hits the IT people like PDQ, Spiceworks. Oh, I know these things, right? So you see, Kev, this is why when we do our training, we don't just give people this resume. We tell people that on the first day that look at this resume, and they say, I have no clue about this resume. And people can verify it over here. And then I'm going to tell them that after my training, you should be able to talk about this resume A to Z, and we're going to give you all the information. So you see, the training is designed for this one resume, basically. So when they go out to these interviews, they're so well, ready to talk about these things that it impresses people. It's just that, okay, you already know a lot internal stuff about IT that I'm pretty impressed. I don't need to teach you so much, or I don't need to dedicate a time of an important person to you that they have to train you everything. Or I see there's also this second problem. There's a lot of IT managers hire people, and then they look for platforms to give people training that help this, because they got so overwhelmed that this person came with nothing. So now it's too hard to even do basic calls with this person, and they don't want to fire them. There are people, they're not going to fire you. They're just going to give you courses, right? So Vila, do you wanted to share something with us?
Yeah. Well, you could just, like if something incorrect where you could correct me where. Okay. Yeah, just a second. Share screen.
While you do that, guys, if you guys can think of more questions, I know we took a lot of time from Kevin too. It's been almost 3 to 4 hours. And if you guys have more quick questions, we're going to do it quickly, okay? And then we're going to end this because, of course, we don't want to die with not Corona by not drinking water or anything, or getting getting tired or out of the energy, and we're like, oh, live training.
Yeah, that's true. So can you see it?
Yeah, sure. Yes. Go. Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice resume.
Yeah, I got a picture of you smiling.
Let's Kev, you go and study this and give your suggestions while I give this information to this right here, this person. What's your question, Vilad, on this resume? What do you want to know?
I don't know what I could change. I put on my personal qualities here and technical skills. You'll scroll down.
By looking at this resume, here's one thing. I'll give you a simple suggestion. Go up again. Go up again. Look, I'm not gonna be. Don't take my comments anything negatively. It's gonna be to help you.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want to put image on your resume.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you a reason for that. It doesn't matter who are. It creates this problem in a human being that they may start thinking about you in a way that by this image, they're thinking about something that may not be true. So why even give them that ability to think about you like that, right? You're basically creating a image that they don't know anything about you, but certainly they look at your face, they look at your skin color, they look at the way you look. You're already putting something in somebody's mind right now.
Okay.
So number one,
that's true.
You can cut that down, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Make it zero. Like, don't let them focus on your skills, not you, right?
Yeah.
If this was a modeling resume, if this was you to go out there and model, and you look like you're a model, so hey, go and do it, right?
I would actually I was gonna say the same thing. Like the only time you put an image on a resume is if you're like a software developer and you're trying to like show off like a website or something like that. If you're trying to show like your portfolio for a website, if you're a software developer, I seen Google developers do that. People that are trying to apply for Google, I see people on Facebook that try to apply for software developer jobs. I seen them do that as well. But if you're doing like IT support or sysadmin role, you don't need to put a picture there. This isn't a LinkedIn profile account. This is a resume. Just
So another part over here is this. Why do I choose a Word format and I don't choose this format? Because now systems are extremely smart, right? And systems are automated. So the Word format is where 90% of these systems are built for. So your format may have a character that they may even deny it right from getting to the system. It may get denied. Why? Because it may have certain type of color. It may have certain type of character, which a lot of people don't know that, by the way. So when you send it in this format, this looks more professional. But like I said, this is mostly about the developer type of resume, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's designed for that kind of resume. So you want to keep it very simple, like how IT people are looking at mostly their resumes. So it may work for you too. I'm not saying that this may not work. This looks good.
Oh, that's very good. You know, it could help our people as well because they will be watching that, right?
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed in your resume is that you got to make sure that, you know, where are you applying? Like, what's your title? Because you got some good titles out there. One is that you're saying IT technician, then you jump into web designer, then you jump into junior sysadmin, then you jump into a junior IT support technician. So people don't buy that basically. Why? The reason you started from the bottom, then you went above in your skills, and then you drop down again. I'd say don't even. I mean, if you have to put it, but you don't even have to put it. Like when I was a network engineer and I was a sysadmin for a school, for this job, I actually I am a network engineer. Just hire me for this job. I'm going to do my job. But when they call me like, oh, you have more experience. And I'm like, I lost my job. I need a job, but I can do everything as a help desk. I can even even probably give them maybe a little bit more if I know, or I will learn from them. So my attitude to them was that I want to learn and I want to give. So they're like, hey, okay, this person is coming to this job and this is in a benefit to a company, right?
Yeah. So I shouldn't put that title or just change it to a different one?
It's your choice, but I mean, by looking at you have too many differences going on with the titles. Kevin, what do you think about these titling differences right here?
Yeah, the same way. I think you're all over the place. I think this resume is a little over the place. I think if you're applying for a specific job, you should focus on your resume on that specific job. It's just over the place.
It's little too much texty, too much text. Look at it. Look on the left side. You have a lot of information about in your profile. Then you have personal qualities. Then you have on the right side, and people only spend 1 or 2 minutes when they realize that okay, I'm not gonna go in there. This is too much. Like if you look at you haven't finished your scrolling down yet. If I were to sit here, I feel like I'm reading a full article right here, like a full-blown article.
Oh yeah, it's too overwhelming for them. Okay.
If you have looked at our resume, you see how targeted it was in the beginning, right? It was just like I want your attention right here, attention. And then after the attention, I got their interest. Then I want you to go down, check my technical stuff. Then they get more involved. I want you to go down a little bit more. I want you to see my experience now. So that's where you already. So the person already spent too much time on your resume, and then okay, this is good enough. I spent almost 5 minutes, man. This got to be good. Let me call this person.
Okay, I get the idea. So the main part in the beginning, and then let's scroll down.
If you ask me, you should give it a try. You should download the template from our website, which is freely available. Right? You download, you change things, and shoot it out. If that doesn't work, then I think Kev have a video on his YouTube channel about the whole resume. Check his methods too, because our may work, may not work. His may work, may not work. You have to keep trying.
Okay, I get an idea.
You want to see my resume? I'll show you a resume right now.
There you go. We got a professional resume.
Great,
coming in. Guys, get ready.
Yes, please.
This isn't my resume, by the way. This is a resume I kind of used to help people with. Just show you my resume.
Is everybody watching? This is actually very important stuff right here. So it's going to help you guys a lot.
So hopefully you see my screen.
Mhm.
You see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a simple resume, not too complicated. Full name, street address, zip code, contact information, highly motivated, hardworking individual pursuing a professional career in the IT industry. And then they have their certifications on the top. Then they have their skills right here. They know Windows 7, Windows 8, Server 2003, 2008, R2. Then also talks about they know certain applications like SQL, Outlook, Labs, Admin Studio, and then their employment history is down there. Simple as that. We don't make it too complicated, because when people are searching in HR, they search they use keywords and they use algorithms to search certain things, especially if you're trying to get a job in desktop support or IT support. You want to have CompTIA A+ there because it automatically searches for that. It just does that for some reason. And on LinkedIn, every website you go to, if you type CompTIA A+, that comes up as a job search or job result, if that makes sense. Even when job recruiters and HR, they're looking for jobs, they see that CompTIA A+, it shoots out on your resume. So I usually have people put A+ on the resume.
Just to add one thing, that doesn't mean we're implying that you need to finish CompTIA A+. You can put CompTIA A+ as still ongoing, but put
Yeah, I'm going for the courses right now.
Yeah, go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, sorry. So basically, yeah. So it's basically, and then this is an old resume, but obviously, if you were to make it up to date, you put Server 2016, you put Exchange 365, you put some Active Directory in there as part of skills is concerned, and then you put your certifications on the top. Everyone is different. Some people have their high school or college degree on the top. Some people have it towards the last end of the resume. And some people that the one mistake that I tell people not to do, that they do, I don't know why everyone does this, is that they have a resume that's 2 to 3 pages. That really annoys the living hell out of me when people have a resume that's 2 to 3 pages, because when you work in HR, when you work as a manager, it's supposed to be at least 1 page. If you get lucky, a page and a half, but 1 page should be more than enough. You don't want to have 2 pages. You don't want to have 3 pages. And also you want a resume that just goes straight to the point. Basically, it makes sense and it goes straight to the point. Like this one has the education, the skills, and the employment history, and it has all the skills that match a current job employer that's hiring. And me, I don't know if you, I don't know if you know this, but in my job, I do executive support level 2. I also do hiring as well. I do job interviews as well. And if I see someone with a resume that has a picture on their resume or it's like 2-3 pages, I throw it in the trash bin. I don't want to see that. Just
too much. Okay.
Way too much. Yeah. That's it. Pretty much it. It's just a sample resume. Just wanted to show you that.
Yeah. Thank you for suggestion. It's really important.
Okay, so that's some good stuff right there. So quickly going to, is there a way to join a session? Yes, there's a way. I'm not sure. This is almost, we're near getting done, but we're almost finishing. So maybe we'll do another session. So quickly, I'm going through some of the other stuff right here. Buying the full subscription right after finishing the free training. Oh, I mean, we are doing a great marketing right here, guys. Look, somebody's buying our membership. And hey, just kidding, you know. Guys, do not pay anything before you do your research. Here's the thing, why you shouldn't pay anything before you do research, because JobSkillShare does not offer refunds. The reason we don't offer refunds is because there's too much involved on our end to give you all this access, to guide you, to mentor you, so that energy isn't wasted. So I would rather not get money from anybody and save my energy than offer refunds, because somebody has to understand this is not a $1 million or $1 billion type of platform that want to make money. This is when we make money, we pay our developers to build more products for you. So one example that I can give people, Kev, maybe I don't know if you know about it, we have created 6,000 videos in 6 months, Kev, and 6,000 videos on top of Practice Labs tasks. So meaning if somebody has to do a practical task, so we are creating videos on top of that to make it easy for people to understand, okay, I gave up. I can't do this, watching a document. I want someone to show it to me in a video, or I'm taking a flight. I need to actually watch this technical stuff, or I'm having an interview. So we have made almost 6,000 videos, and that's all possible when you have money. You have to pay people to do this kind of stuff. It's not possible by sitting here and making 1 or 2 videos. So that's another thing, you know, the reason I say to Kev, because he has a lot of people come to us, and I don't want him to also be forced to tell people that, okay, hey, there's a platform and somebody will come to it at some point to him, because he says there's a free course available on JobSkillshare, which is, we have 100+ hours of full training available, and he knows that, and he basically says that. But he also says that there's a paid membership available too, so he doesn't become like a person or a pissed off person to Kev that, hey, you said there's a free course available out there, but they're asking me $299 for the labs. But this is why we're charging, right? So we're not like shy, or we don't want to hide things from people. So that's why I want to tell people to make sure you invest some time into research. Learning AD from JSS halfway done. Buying the makes perfect sense. I'll call this magic resume. So Kev, the Rajan who have used our resume, I told him that this is a magic resume, right? It happens for so many people. They just use this type of resume and it works for them. So maybe Kev, what we can do is we can grab your resume as a template, and you can take our resume as a template and offer these two to your people. Maybe one did not work for 3 months and let's say they're not getting a reply, then you can offer our template to them. And if ours are not working, we're going to ask Kevin to give his template to us. And we're going to use that because we know both of the resumes worked in the real world. Both worked. Hector probably used it. Gustavo used it. So we know it works. So, okay, guys, last 5 minutes. Any questions? Any questions from the live members?
Yeah, I see a few people on Zoom are about to pass out on the floor for being so long in the video.
No, we're good.
But to be honest, first of all, I want to say thank you to Kev for spending this kind of time. He's also a professional. He's also have, family, and he has all this. And you guys who came with Kev, this is what happened. Me and Kev were gonna do one-on-one, okay? But I sent one message to everybody. Guys joined in. This is gonna be not a normal type of session. This is gonna be a very informative session. And first, I want to say thank you for giving that kind of trust, because nobody does that, right? You just leave everything. I'm just gonna go join in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, no preparation, nothing. We just started it, and people came to us. So first, I want to say thank you to people over here that have spent so much time with us. That this is also valuable because of you guys. Also, we kind of like people trust us, right? Because we're not making this stuff up. Kevin is not making this stuff up that what he's talking. We're not making this stuff up what we're talking. So it brings a value to us too. And in return, we want to give back to you guys, because at the end, we want to make you as an example that, look, if they can do it, you can do it. And it helps us too, because you've seen us how much time we come on YouTube. It helps our energy. And at the end, I feel like I'm going to talk more about energy, because Kevin spent 1 hour, 2 hours on live sessions, and some of the questions are repetitive. And I don't feel like I want to tell people that you can go and take my training for this question, because that's his live session. So I don't want to do that. But he's doing a great job by he has his own videos so much that he can quickly tell people. At the end, it helps us too, because we don't have to recreate this video again and again. Like, we're not going to have this type of session again for a long time. We're going to have something more different. We're going to say, okay, what's happening in the next session? We may be more technical in a way that, okay, what's happening now? What kind of issues we're facing because of COVID? And we will only talk about that then, and we're not going to discuss anything what we have done today. So this is why it's important for you guys to also help us and share these videos with people who have the basic question, like, how do I get into IT? You can simply point them to 2 different videos, and they got the answer right there. So at the end, if anybody have a last question, they can go ahead and open their mic. If not, let's end it. Let's sleep well. We're gonna have to wake up tomorrow.
I have the last question.
Yes.
What I could write in a cover letter would attract people?
We have a cover letter, so I can actually send you that. It's like pretty nice words about you. It's almost the same as description, but a little bit more formal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what cover letter is. It's a little bit more than that, but maybe Kevin have some other things on this too. So I don't know. I mean, I have in this template, I can send you that. People have used that.
Yeah, mine is too long. As I assumed.
No, too long.
All of the conversation.
That work. Trust me, too long. Any
Okay.
days like.
Yeah, because nobody reads that. I kind of noticed that.
even if we have to add let's say our resume may leads to maybe 2 pages, but that's also if somebody have something really good. And it has to also, the first 2 pages has to be extremely clean and focused for you to get to the second page. And that works for people who want to get for higher level jobs, right? You cannot just sink in everything at the end in 1 page then, right? Because if you want to go for senior level admin position, you have too many positions out there, right? So you cannot just deny that. So if no other questions, Kevin, do you have any last words on?
I was gonna say about the resume is that you want it to be as specific to the IT job as possible. Like I had someone that had a resume that was 3 pages long, and it was all restaurant experience and no IT experience, and that's the reason why they couldn't find a job, because they had 3 pages of restaurant experience and they had no IT experience at all. And they're like, why am I not getting hired for a job? Why isn't someone giving me a job? And he had the A+. He had an A+. And I told him, put the A+, and then for experience, you don't have any IT experience, it's fine. Put in skills what you know what to do with the A+ and what you know how to do on servers. And he did that, and then he got his first job working for the Department of Education just by changing his whole resume. Like, nobody cares about your restaurant experience if you're applying for an IT job, and it's 3 pages long too. No one wants to see that, you know. Like I said, even I don't want to see that. Like, it has nothing to do with the job title, the job description, nothing to do with the job you're applying for. You wanted to make it as detailed as possible to the description, and make it like straight to the point, and make it that it actually makes sense, and that it doesn't annoy the person when they're reading a resume that's like 10,000 pages. Because I had someone else that had 7 pages on a resume. I'd never seen that in my life before. So they had 7 pages as resume, and that scared the hell out of me. And I'm like, there's no one gonna hire you. No one's gonna hire you because of this resume. So I took his resume, I shortened it down as much as I possibly can, and then I told him, you could put this one experience that's not IT related, because you need to have something on your resume. You cannot just have nothing on your resume. So I told him you could put that on your resume, and then if you have no IT experience, you can keep that there. But if you do have IT experience, just get rid of all that altogether and just keep your IT stuff. You want to make it as relevant as possible to the IT job that you're applying for, and just say that you have some sort of IT experience. And that's pretty much it.
So
that's a good advice for sure. Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much. So just to know, if I don't show up by tomorrow, this means that Danish is done. He has passed out for next 5 days. For the next 5 days. If anybody want to talk about this whole thing and they want to reach out to Kevin, he has his own channel. His name is Kevtech. I already showed you that in the video. We'll put his link too. There are other channels too. We're gonna bring them in, so this will be much more fun if they are in the channel, so we can talk about them as well. There's too much in IT. Just be strong, and at the end, just be positive. This is the starting. You are in good hands. Don't worry about anything. Just this is something that you shouldn't take too much stress. You got too much excess right here. So we got you. As simple as that. We got you at the end, you know? So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. We'll make it.
All right, guys, take care. I'm ending this right now. Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.